I unplugged and plugged again. Hello, hello, test, test, hello, hello, hello.
Hello, and welcome in. Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We're here for some Overwatch coverage here. 3 games for Boise State. We'll kick it off with PlayVS in the regular season. It'll be Boise State taking on West Virginia in a mixed squad. And then we'll move on to the NECC. We'll have Boise State Orange taking on Champlain with the winner on to the playoffs. And we'll wrap things up with a grudge match for Boise State Blue taking on Midland. I'm Michael Fisher, joined by Colby D'Angelo Alloway to call all of the action. And D'Angelo, what do we expect for Boise State here tonight, because they've got a lot of games, some in the regular season, and some with a lot of stakes on the line?
Well, we talk about Goblin a lot, but we are expecting something truly beautiful from Goblin tonight, because he has been watching, he had the privilege of watching My Crazy Cat in action for 2 games. For those of you that don't know, My Crazy Cat is a hard Reaper one trick that touched 4,700.
Whoa.
4,700 one-tricking Reaper. So to say this man is a god is an understatement. And Goblin was able to watch him for 2 matches. And so Goblin has transcended the limits of normal Reaper gameplay and has personally told me that he will be spending a lot of time on Reaper tonight and in some games to follow. And I am just truly excited.
Yeah, that will be, we will see Goblin in our final match of the night against Midland. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of #better thrown around in that one. But before we get to that, we will start with PlayVS. It is 62 teams, a 7-week regular season, best of 5, a Swiss format. So the more games you win, the harder opponents you get. And for Boise State, all players are eligible. The blue team and the orange team, you will see a mix of those tonight in our first game against West Virginia. And then we will have the team split off. The orange team will take on Champlain in NECC, and blue will play Midland, and then we see the PlayVS playoffs coming up at the end of the month. So as we prepare to hop into this first match, how would you split up the teams if you're Boise State for PlayVS? As we see right here, they're 6-0 right now, undefeated. Nobody else is close to West Virginia's 5-1. So how would you divide up the squads to make sure Boise State can be competitive, but doesn't run into maybe comm issues or comp issues that you could see if you put 2 Lucio one-tricks together, for example, or 2 Lucio mains together, for example?
Well, some good combinations in terms of support lineup would be Asu Beanie Bum, something like that, because they play very different heroes. If you put a large bagel and Beanie Bum in the same, they both play a lot of the same healers because they both play off healers. So again, they would run into that 2 Lucio one tricks, not that they're Lucio one tricks obviously, but you would run into that problem, whereas Asu is a main healer, and so he kind of complements that well. Some other combinations that you could run is you could run something, you could run like Quidgible with Guac or something like that. That would be a pretty good one, because both Quidgible and Guac are very tactical in terms of like thought and the way that they do comms and things like that, but they also play different tank roles. Quidgible has been learning a lot more main tank, but really he started as an off tank, whereas Guac is a main tank that is kind of branching into off tank. So you could see some value there. I also know for a fact that Guac plays a good ball and Quidgible is capable of playing a good Zarya. So you could run some tricky ball Zarya if you really wanted to antagonize the enemy team. That
would be interesting. It is kind of weird, though, because, I mean, I mean, you would think these players play a lot, so you wouldn't have to worry too much about comms. So we have seen, when Boise State and other games have slotted in a new player, sometimes comms are an issue. So I'll be really curious to see how Boise State's going to split it up. I mean, it's worked so far. They are 6-0. As we mentioned, we'll have 3 Overwatch games tonight. This is just sort of our appetizer here in the regular season between Boise State and West Virginia. But there is one small difference, D'Angelo. We will get a best of 5, and PlayVS wants to guarantee we get Assault. Assault is second on the PlayVS list. So we will actually get to see 2CP, everyone's favorite, I know yours included.
2CP. 2CP. Yeah, a lot of Overwatch players have a problem with 2CP just because of, first of all, it lasts forever.
Yep.
Forever.
Yep.
But beyond that, it's also both. So beyond that is the paradox of 2CP, which is extremely easy to take second points, which is snowballing, or impossible to take second points. So both of these are incredibly common, and both of them contribute to the problem that exists within 2CP, because if you completely roll the enemy team first fight, you can totally snowball, easy cap the second point. It's going to take a miracle to stop that snowball.
Well, we will have to see. It is interesting to note that PlayVS has moved it up in the rotation. A lot of tournaments in the past have put it fourth. But before we get into Boise State and West Virginia, we do get Doc's keys to the game. Never take a fair fight. What does that mean? Fight in unexpected places when the enemy is unprepared and when you can have ability advantages. It's all brought to you by Count, whose Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables a personalized customer experience for the 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. If you want to stay safe online, go check them out at count.com, KOUNT.com. As we mentioned, it will be a best of 5. We will go Control, Assault, Escort, Hybrid, and then back to Control Not Played between Boise State and West Virginia if we have to play all 5 games. And we'll kick things off right away, and it looks like we will get Asu, Beanie Bum, Icy, Plato, Pleb, and Narbles. So looks like a pretty nice mix there for Boise State between the two squads.
The Asu Beanie Bum combo I am honored to have called. Those two also work well together because they've played on a team before last year, as well as I have also played with Asu. But before he was a healer main and before he became an amazing Baptiste player, when he was on just an amazing DPS player. So that'll be interesting. It'll also avoid the problems that you would have with Bagel and Beanie Bum both playing the same role, because Asu and Beanie Bum play completely different roles.
And what about the rest of the team with, Pleb and Darbles we know from the Orange team, and then Icy and Plato. How do you like that mix for Boise State with Plato off-roll here on a tank?
Yes, this is going to be very interesting and very inspiring here. We also have Asu onto the Mei. Plato is usually our Mei player on Boise State Blue. So, May's basically a tank. May's basically Reinhardt. So This is totally going to work. I believe in Plato and his abilities.
Well, Boise State, we saw the teleport did come out for West Virginia, who is in the blue. They were able to get on the point first. Boise State still trying to find a way in. Asu puts a wall down, forced to cryo freeze to heal back up to full. Shield still barely holding, a couple of headshots. The Broncos have not found a way to break through quite yet. Immortality Field will go down from Pleb. Axis able to immediately eliminate it. Oh, they got Ryan on the wrong side of the wall. They're able to take him out. Pleb and Narbles combined for a pair of eliminations as the Ant Matrix goes down for Boise State. Right in the perfect position. And a great Mei wall from Asu sets up that play perfectly.
Absolutely. You got the Ryan on the wrong side of the wall there, Asu, and West Virginia totally paid for it. Even though Narbles was, in fact, first blood, Boise State is going to take this fight, only having given them 28% of the point, which is good because they haven't swapped off of the Symmetra, but now they're forced into an attacking role, Fish. And we've definitely talked about not swapping Symmetra on points like this before.
Yeah, we see a lot of teams stick on that Symmetra as long as possible. Plato's going to have the Shadow. There's another teleporter going to go up. Boise State immediately will take care of that one. Now it's West Virginia's turn in the blue to try and find a way in. Blizzard's going to go down. Shatter from the Brave Monk will be blocked. There's a Nano that's going to go on to the Brave Monk from 7-Eleven, and him and KO9 are both going to pick up a pair of kills. Rocket Barrage from Narbles gets 2 as the team straight free for 3. The sound barrier did come out from Gino Fron, but it looks like the shields have already been busted through from that Rocket Barrage. There's a photon barrier that will go down from Axis. Boise State retreating. Asu nearly jumping off the edge there. KO9 will take out Icy And now it looks like Boise State might be forced to retreat. Beanie Bum still hanging around. Has that sound barrier. Shatter's going to land onto just one. And Vertile will be taken out. Immortality Field comes down. Double ante will land on the Boise State side. But now they're starting to rack up the kills as they'll go for 5. Need one more onto KO9 for the team kill. And they'll send it back to spawn.
Clean little stall by Asu and Beanie Bum there. Asu with the crowd freeze onto the point, and Beanie Bum just, you know, frogging around, being hard to hit on Lucio there. That was very nice and enabled the rest of Boise State's team, who got picked much earlier in the fight, to get back. So, I mean, really the unsung heroes of that fight were Asu and Beanie Bum with that point contest. Absolutely great. And now West Virginia is sitting in last fight territory, walking into Grav and Sound Barrier.
Grav's going to come out first, as well as an Ant Matrix. They'll trade 1-for-1. Axis for Narbles. Now KO9 is going to try for a Grav Dragon. It's going to rip through Boise State, but a great Sound Barrier Immortality Field combo there from the Broncos support is able to keep him alive. Vertile will get taken out, trying to extend overtime. A Shatter comes down from the Brave Monk. Not able to find it once again. Plato will use his Shatter. He can't get a kill either, but now he's able to take down the Brave Monk. Sound Barrier for Gino Fran to try and help West Virginia stall out as long as possible. Shield Spade. And now those members will be made short work of. KO9 Axis, Gino Fran all going to go down. Nice Maywall there. Barely blocks Vertile for getting on the point. He'll take a hammer to the face anyway, and Boise State picks up the first map on Control.
Picked up the first map on Control. Indeed, Fish, absolutely amazing. We did not win the first fight, which is often the most important fight on Control, but we won all the fights after that. So you really can't complain too much about that there, Fish.
No, you really can. It seems like once Boise State broke that hold that West Virginia had on the point, everything fell apart for them. So we will see what the Mountaineers have for game 2 on Control. Mountaineers in blue, Boise State in red. We see that for now the Broncos have that Symmetra and a Reaper. So maybe a preview. I know you said Goblin will be playing it later tonight. Well, Asu's going to be the first one to show it off here.
Asu, actually, I first met him playing Reaper as a Masters player, and I'm sure he would cringe at being Masters just because he's so high now. But I do expect to see great things from Asu on this Reaper here.
Ooh, looking for a flank. I don't think 7-11 knows he's behind him. Takes down the steel trap, gets right on the back line. Gonna be forced to Wraith form away as 7-11's Immortality Field's taken out. 7-11 will fall next. Boise State will be forced to Immortality Field, and they're just gonna rack up kills. They'll only lose Narbles in the process to that Junkrat Death Mine, but Boise State's able to get 4 for 1.
I mean, Fish, Narbles was the price there, walking into the Death Mines, but for a one fight, and Narbles will be back before West Virginia has the opportunity to re-engage, so you really can't complain, and honestly, it's a little amusing.
And Matrix immediately is going to go down there from Pleb. And the Flame Strike, they will take out Vertile. No one's going to walk over the grenades this time. Asu barely makes it around the corner, 44 HP. Pleb's going to pick up a double kill. Plato will be taken out. And Boise State has cut off the side of West Virginia. It looks like they've actually cut themselves off with a Maywall, so Boise State will send them back to spawn.
They need to wait for Plato to get back in the fight. Usually you don't want to try to take fights without your main tank. However, we do need to back out a significant amount to reconvert from Plato.
Shatter from the Brave Monk is going to miss. Photon Barrier just goes down from Narbles as an Ant Matrix is used by 7-11. Grab comes out for both sides here. No one has a Sound Barrier to answer. Immortality Field goes down from both sides. Nice triple freeze there from Axis, but Boise State's not going to lose a single member. They'll pick up 3. Do they have 4 and 5? Yes, they do. And once again, it's those Junkrat Death Mines that prove to be the most deadly for Boise State.
Honestly, Narbles was absolutely popping off there, and then the Death Mines just had to show up to make sure Narbles stays humble there. I'm convinced. Because Narbles is just popping off too hard. The Death Mines have to remind him that he is in fact not a god and only a mere man.
Oh my goodness, you mentioned the Masters Reaper there. Well, how about a triple kill? Can he find one more? No! He'll get shot out of the sky. They did commit the Blizzard, and all they got was an Immortality Field. Boise State loses 2 for 3, but West Virginia so far back in their spawn, it really doesn't matter.
And especially approaching last fight territory for West Virginia, things are not looking very good on their side. They need an absolute monster of a tire to have any chance at this, and they really need to avoid Plato's Shatter.
Well, they'll be able to dodge the Shatter. That's one thing out of the way. Gino Fran's going to throw down the Sound Barrier, lands onto 4. Beanie Bum immediately gets his Sound Barrier, is able to use it. The Rip Tire went out, but it did not pick up a single kill. There's Ant Matrix going down from 7-11. And Plato's going to charge right into it. He'll pin the Brave Monk. Now he's on the other side of the team. Narbles will pick up a double kill on that Genji now. And it looks like Boise State should, in short order here, pick up a couple more kills, be able to win this one and go up 1-0 in our first series of the night.
You know, West Virginia did half of their win condition there. They avoided Plato's shatter and didn't get team shattered, which was good for them, and gave them a fight, but they did not get the value they needed to out of the tire, partially because it was destroyed and partially because of the massive sound barrier from Beanie Bum getting charged just in time. But play of the game, they'll still go to Narbles.
Narbles picking this one up, not even needing the rocket barrage, able to get a nice little flank there right behind West Virginia. Absolutely separated the team, and he'll pick up our play of the game for that first one. Well, the Overwatch 3v3 showdown brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard is coming your way later this month. Broadcast live for the BSU Esports Arena. Perfect opportunity to win prizes, shatter your friends, and ask the Army National Guard about how they can help you get an education in gaming and interactive media. Finals will be held live on Saturday, April 16th. But right now, Boise State 6-on-6. And they're up 1-0 here on West Virginia. And now we get our 2CP of the night, D'Angelo. Is there a map you're looking forward to? And based on control, is there anything else expected besides the Boise State snowball?
I absolutely hope that there's a Boise State snowball. I come here every time I cast hoping for a Boise State snowball, hoping for a Boise State sweep, because I am a Boise State fan.
That's true.
But in terms of map choice, I'm really hoping to see Temple of Anubis, because that is a map that of the 2CP maps, which are in general not very pleasant for Overwatch players, Temple of Anubis is kind of the lesser of the evils, if you will, because it's generally, you can run lots of like hit scan, Widowmaker, things like that are pretty fun. You can use Junkrat. It's just a very nice map to watch.
I hate to ruin it for you, but based on the image on screen, it's not Temple of Anubis.
I don't know what you're talking about. That absolutely looks like Egypt. Snow, onion domes.
Basically the same thing, right?
Totally.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I don't even notice a difference here. I mean, so for Boise State, I mean, they look pretty comfortably in control. So for West Virginia, D'Angelo, I know you're a Boise State fan, but you know, let's say we won a game here. Casting, a competitive game is always more fun. What do you think West Virginia needs to do on Assault to slow down Boise State? Because we didn't see West Virginia really win a single fight on control.
So, lots of members of Boise State are getting a little bit over-aggressive, which isn't necessarily bad, but they're not getting over-aggressive in a way that their teammates can always follow up on them. The main members that they really want to watch out for are there were several opportunities where they could have punished Asu, eliminated him, and been up one in the fight. And also, they really need to win that Ryan v. Ryan against Plato when Plato gets a little over-aggressive, because Plato did come, he's not a Reinhardt main.
Yeah.
And so there are things about his Reinhardt that remind you that he is coming from DPS. And while that is definitely usually a benefit, if you're able to recognize that as the side of West Virginia and that hyper-aggressive thing like that, like with the Ana, they nanoed their own Reinhardt when he got super aggressive, and so they were able to eliminate Plato. You basically need to plan your play around when he gets super aggressive, and you need to be able to nade him and eliminate him. Because once you've picked the enemy's main tank, that fight is basically yours. And if it's not, if you don't win the fight but you pick their main tank, at that point there's not a ton of justification that you can give yourself, because the main tank is a really solid elimination. So you probably deserve to lose if you lose the fight where you pick their main tank.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if off the top of my head, I don't think West Virginia's DPS got a single kill on control while they were alive. Because we saw Vertile did get 2 from the grave with the, Junkrat passive, if you will, where he drops the grenades when he dies. But other than that, I don't think their DPS got a single kill. And, regardless of what your main tank does, if your DPS aren't getting kills, it's going to be a long night for you.
Absolutely. If the only kills your DPS can get are on people walking into Junkrat mines, there's a little bit of a situation there, because in order for a Junkrat to get kills with his mines, he has to be in the middle of the enemy team.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of problems that come to light with the death mines getting the most eliminations this game, Fish.
Well, we will have to see what West Virginia has up their sleeve. Looks like the first thing they're going to do is they will make a small change. Axis will be out. Wilson will be in on the Tracer. So, I mean, there you go. There's a great response. Your DPS struggle on control. Well, go to the bench and see if Wilson's able to provide you that spark that you're looking for.
Another thing was 7-11 was not alive for as long as he needed to be. Normally you want your main healer to be like the last person that dies or the person that gets out and into the next fight. 7-11 died every fight, usually first, second, or third.
Does look like Boise State will also make a swap of their own. Pleb will go out, Quidjable will come in, Plato will move back to DPS, and Asu will move back to support, so they'll go into their more familiar roles as well. We'll see what Boise State has up their sleeve. Look like they're going to go the long way here with Beanie Bum. Speed boost the team around up onto the high ground. A little bit of damage coming out as Wilson's looking for a cheeky flank, not able to find it. Now Boise State eating all that damage. You see Wilson's going from behind. KO9's looking for some damage. You've also got the boosted Ash on the other side. Nearly eats a flame strike to the face. Quidjable not able to get there, so Boise State will just hop onto the point. Here comes KO9 from the backside. Shield's going to go on to Quidjable. They'll trap that Diva underneath. They'll be able to eliminate KO9 quite easily. Asu is low, though. He'll be taken out as Immortality Field burned down quickly by West Virginia. Wilson hopping around there. Plato looking for a concussive grenade to stop that Tracer in his tracks. Instead, he'll find one onto Brave Monk. Can't quite take him down. Quidjable eats an anti to the face, barely alive. 7-11 now going to get a headshot there for Plato. He's got to be careful. Wilson's coming around the corner. He's able to gun him down, and now Boise State's going to crumble here in the final seconds, and they're going to have to reset.
Plato on the McCree definitely got massive value, headshotting and eliminating their Ana. That was definitely the fight win for them. Things weren't necessarily looking so good for Boise State when Asu lost the 2v1 on the high ground to the Tracer on the Ana. But I mean, it's a 2v1, so you can't really be too mad at Asu for that. Other than him not dropping with his team, it was just, I mean, him being up by himself against two people, there's really not much that you can do there. And now, Boise State has Blizzard, though. So, as long as 3 people don't die to Pulse Bomb right now, Boise State should comfortably win this next fight. It also needs to not get eaten, obviously. If you're West Virginia, you really want to eat.
That Pulse Ball was incredibly close. Deadeye is going to come out. Plato's not going to be able to find anything, forced to roll away. Primal Rage for the Brave Monk has been used to knock Asu off the edge. Plato's able to take down Wilson, but KO9's right in the fight. He takes down Plato. Boise State now down 2, make it 3. His Beanie Bum will fall. They're able to take down Vertile, but that should be an easy res for Geno Fram. He will be able to find it, sleep onto Narbles, and Boise State, unfortunately, starts out strong and then once again falls apart. It's got to go back to spawn.
The positive of this is that Boise State did not use the Blizzard on a lost fight, so they do still have their win condition for next fight. But Vertile also has Bob, which can be a significant problem. I was talking about main healers getting picked in the context of 7-11, usually dying first, second, or third. But this time, it's been Asu getting caught out a little bit. And usually if your main healer is the first person to die, you're probably not going to win that fight no matter what you use. So good on Narbles for not using Blizzard after Asu died, but now we really need to do this again.
Boise State once again going to take the high ground. They're going to drop down an Ant Matrix for the team up on that high ground. We are going to see Quidjable jump down, so will Beanie Bum. We're going to get a Diva Bomb from KO9, and Bob's going to come out. Diva Bomb takes down 1. Darble still has the Blizzard. He's going to commit it right on top of the point. Valkyrie has been used by Geno Fram. Quidjable's able to pick up 1, and Immortality Field comes out. Brave Monk barely surviving as Narbles was forced to cryo freeze instead of finish off the Winston. As Quidjable now taken low, he'll be taken out. Soundbarrier comes down just a moment too late to keep him alive, but still lands on to 4. They're still trying to find a way to take down that Winston. Finally, Narbles able to take him down with a nice headshot there. Boise State's looking to unlock the point. They've only got 30 seconds left. That's a great pick on to 7-11. Wilson goes down as well. Plato barely surviving. KO9 does get DMEC, but the Baby Diva is able to punch down Plato, but Boise State should have enough of a resource advantage here to be able to cap this point with just 10 seconds left on the clock.
I am genuinely upset on the side of Boise State that monkey lived for as long as he did, because he had to have been in double digits when Narbles was forced to cryo freeze. But I think that fish gives us a really good example of what Boise State needs to be doing better, which is focus the same target. On the plus side, it's looking like a snowball is very possible, because the only ultimates they have are Pulse Bomb, 30% to Bob, and Primal Rage, and we have Grab.
And I's not going to find anything, but Wilson's going to be taken out first. There is that Primal Rage. Boise State will drop down the Ant Matrix, still holding on to that grab, and Icy one to being taken out before he's able to grab. The Brave Monk barely surviving once again. Boise State will commit a Shatter and a Blizzard. Nano's going to go out onto KO9, who is stuck in that Blizzard. So is the Bob. And unfortunately, Boise State's going to commit all of their ults except for that grab, and they're not going to find much value for any of them.
We should absolutely not have used anything after Icy got off by the primal mechanics. Though I will say, the Brave Monk, his primal mechanics are absolutely great to watch. He's gotten eliminations that he needs to get at. This is some solid monkey play. I would be really interested to watch this game from the Brave Monk's perspective. I feel like most players could learn some things. But Boise State really shouldn't have used Blizzard or Shatter there. That was really their bad, and I'm sure they're realizing that right about now.
Boise State will have a couple of swaps. Will bring out the Anna and the Brig, as well as their own Winston. And they're going to maybe try for a grab. Dragons here. D-Bomb goes out from KO9, not able to find anything. Wilson and Quidgeable will be traded out 1-for-1. Genofram still has the res, but he's not going to hold on to it for now. Has the Valkyrie as well, as Icy's still looking for a target for that grab. He's just going to hold on to it, wait for some respawns for Boise State, maybe let Narbles get to that Dragon Strike, as Plato will be taken down. Unfortunately for Boise State, they just could not. They just waited way too long to pull the trigger on that one. They will get a sleep there. Do they commit the grab now? It's like they're just going to hold on to it, maybe waiting too long for a perfect opportunity.
Here's the thing about 2CP, Fish. If you lose somebody on your engage in 2CP, you want to hard reset after that fight. If you're approaching a 2CP point down somebody, especially one of your healers or one of your tanks, that fight is as good as lost.
Grab Cubs out. They'll unfortunately trade 2 for 2. Now, Boise State's unfortunately going to not be able to stop Genofran on the res, but they will take out KO9. So both teams still down a pair. Asu now gets taken out. Quidgeable going to be forced to use that Primal Rage. 7-11, the Brave Monk and Vertile all very, very low. Pulse Bomb will land, but that 1,000 HP means Quidgeable should easily be able to survive it. And now Boise State's going to have that advantage as West Virginia's going to slowly trickle in onto the point. The Mountaineers, though, should have enough time for one more team fight if they just stop suiciding for a little bit here.
If West Virginia had given them the tick there, they would have gotten a full recontest, which would have automatically won them the fight. But now that they've killed Quidgeable, it's likely that this is not a Boise State fight anyway, so it doesn't seem like that really affected them too much. Since their Lucio did not die contesting to prevent them from getting that pick, this actually worked out really well for them. But if their Lucio had been eliminated there, that would have been a good boon for Boise State.
Boise State will unfortunately not be able to get a single tick on that second point, so they will have just one on the board for West Virginia to try and top. And that swap for Wilson, I'm not going to say it was the reason why West Virginia came out on top, but they definitely feel like a lot more comfortable team now with him DPSing.
They feel like a more comfortable team with him on DPS, and Boise State is just doing some things that they normally do not do and that are very upsetting to watch. For example, using the Shatter and the Blizzard in a fight where we were already down Icy when Grav was our biggest win condition. Again, one of the biggest problems with 2CP is, well, when you're attacking, one of the things that makes 2CP so impossibly difficult is because of the enemy's respawn advantage. If you lose anybody on attack, that fight is almost guaranteed a loss. That's also why you need huge ultimate value to take second point on 2CP, because just in general, most fights you trade or things like that. So from a DPS perspective, most DPS, it is acceptable for you to go in and trade or kill 2 and get yourself eliminated. That is not the case in 2CP. You can't play like that. You have to play to live. You have to play to get everybody on the point and keep everybody on the point, because if you lose anybody, it's basically a 5v6 just because of how fast the defenders respawn.
Boise State will come out with, it looks like, a Protect the Bastion comp here. They're also going to have some nice turrets right behind West Virginia. That's going to be able to allow Narbles to get some chip damage in, but it looks like Mountaineers have dealt with it. They'll take the exact same route as Boise State. Wilson nearly gets melted there by Plato on that Bastion. Good job here by West Virginia, trying to line of sight it as much as they can. Now they're going to come jumping in from the Brave Monk, trying to put a teleporter down, but it's not able to keep that Bastion alive. Immortality Field goes down as well, but it's not enough for Boise State. B-Bum will get the res onto Plato, but it's really not going to matter. He's able to pick up a pair of eliminations. KO9 does get taken out of the mech. They're trying to burn the Baby Diva. But Plato still has a ton of pressure in his face from the Brave Monk and Vertile. He's going to try and be able to burn down West Virginia on the point. He's not able to get a good sight line. Good job by them, making sure they cannot put him as much damage as he wants. Wilson's going to eat the Bastion now, and unfortunately West Virginia now playing a bit too passive as the Brave Monk does not go jumping in. Tank form has been activated here. Oh, great kill on to 7-11, and that Bastion, that huge res from Beanie Bums, and why Boise State's going to be able to hold this point.
Absolutely. Beanie Bum MVP. Thank you, Beanie Bum, for the carry in the backpack. Absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10 Mercy play, because Beanie Bum also stayed alive after the res, and Plato would not have been able to get that value if either Beanie Bum or Asu had died. So, Asu doing an amazing job of staying alive, and Beanie Bum doing an amazing job of staying alive and getting the res when the Sim TP failed.
Have the teleporter down. Unfortunately, Wilson did find that one out. Valkyrie will be committed there by Geno Fran. Immortality Field is taken out. Asu now taken out of the high ground. Plato's able to get one onto the Brave Monk. Wilson will fall off the edge. Geno Fran looking for maybe a res. He is able to get one onto the Brave Monk. Beanie Bum still alive with his own Valkyrie, as we are going to see the Dragon Blade come out from Vertile. Diva Bomb does take out Geno Fran, as everybody's getting taken out right now, and it's just a team deathmatch. There's the clutch res for Beanie Bum onto Plato. And Plato immediately responds with a great elimination onto Vertile. Quidgible will get slept as the baby diva, but unfortunately no punish. Another tank form does come out here from Plato. Is he able to hold on to the point? Doesn't look like he is, so West Virginia will have a chance here to win this one in regulation and tie our series up at 1 aside.
I don't know what you're talking about. Narbles is popping off. That was beautiful to watch. He did end up getting eliminated, and sadly it was all for naught, but there was a little bit of a Narbles stunt onto them.
Yeah, unfortunately, Boise State, the Bastion play was perfect. They just never had anyone on the point to slow down West Virginia, so they're going to have about a minute and a half more than Boise State had, and we saw that Boise State was not able to get a single tip.
I will say that Beanie Bum should not be feeling too bad about that point loss, because genuinely, he absolutely did everything that he could on that Mercy, and everything he could was quite a lot. It was very nice to watch, and he got a lot of value. Hopefully we can eliminate Wilson before the fight truly begins. Or KO9.
KO9 gets taken out. How about Vertile as well? As the Photon Barrier comes down, the Brave Monk on the back line. He's not going to escape this time at low health. And first fight for West Virginia, a lot like Boise State's, goes absolutely nowhere.
Plato would like to win. That is all I have to say about that. He killed 5 that fight? 4? 5? I don't know. I just saw the hit markers and saw the Boise State popping up in the kill feed on the positive end. And, you know, it's Plato, man. Plato would like to win.
There's no ults up for West Virginia, so this is not going to be an easy push for them.
This is probably where they want to dry fight and charge some ultimates, and if Boise State is smart, they won't use any of theirs either.
Boise State's got 2 tank ults coming up. West Virginia has 2 support ults, though you would have to assume they either want the Nano for the Primal Rage or maybe the Dragon Blade, as we are going to see the Valkyrie will be committed there by Geno Fran. Icy did commit the Supercharger, but KO9 was able to take that one out with ease. Quidgible will throw in the Diva Bomb as well. Nano is going to go onto the Brave Monk, but that's a 2 kill for Quidgible. Geno Fran did get the res right before he died, but it's probably not going to matter. So everybody will commit their ultimates, and Boise State will come out ahead once again.
It's just ult charge at that point. If you, as the Mercy, make the res on 2 CP, but you yourself die, it's not worth it, because especially if you are down a support, attacking 2 CP, that fight is as good as lost. Unless your teammate just suddenly goes, unless all your teammates just suddenly go God mode. If you're down a support, attacking 2 CP, that fight is lost. So, I mean, Quidgible, way to pop off, buddy. That's the second time that Mercy has been caught by a Diva Bomb. Coincidentally, that's also the second Diva Bomb that Quidgible has placed. So,
yeah, he's had some outstanding Diva Bombs so far. He might need another one here depending on how these fights go. As Vertile switch once again over to the Widowmaker. We do still have a Deadeye here, as Asu did commit the Ant Matrix. Bob's available as well for Wilson. He'll immediately get called in. KO9 taken out of the ult. Plato wants to land the Deadeye onto Bob, barely able to survive long enough to do it. Also gets a great stun onto the Brave Monk, and that's going to put West Virginia down 2 as KO9 finally eliminated in that baby Diva form. Looking for some punish here on the retreat for the Mountaineers. Maybe able to find one on Geno Fran now on that Lucio. Doesn't look like it. Oh, does get him. Can he get one more into Wilson? Yes, he can. You called it D'Angelo. Plato, he wants to win.
Plato would love to win, and the kill feed is the proof of that. Very nicely done on the side of Plato there. Totally a worthy trade, Deadeye for Bob. I sound sarcastic, but I mean that truly. I truly mean that. The Deadeye for the Bob. That was beautiful to watch and totally worth it.
He nearly got gunned down looking for Bob. Unfortunately, they will lose Icy to start that fight. The infrared sight will come out for Vertile there. There's a nano up for 7-11. He's going to slam it right onto the Brave Monk. Beanie Bum will slam down that sound barrier. Photon barrier comes down as well. As KO9's the first elimination. They've also got an Ant Mage. Boise State throwing everything they can. Double Deadeye for Plato. Making 3 in a row in the kill feed for him. Boise State's going to send West Virginia back to spawn with one last chance here to win it in regulation.
Let's see if Plato can get another 75% to his ultimate before the next fight begins. I highly doubt it because he's sitting at 20 right now, but that was pretty nice. He used Deadeye the fight before and then got it again this fight just because he was able to eliminate everybody as they were running back to spawn. Now, the best hope for West Virginia is that Wilson charges Bob really quickly, but because they don't have a Mercy, that's very unlikely, so they need to land the Hail Mary of all shatters. This is very much a Ryan v. Ryan to see who wins.
Unfortunately, you heard it, nearly came down, but he gets taken out. There's a Diva Bomb. Wilson gets taken out. Quintuple averaging at least one elimination per Diva Bomb, and nobody's going to find anything on the second part of 2CP, and we're going to get ourselves a draw.
A draw is better than a loss.
Yes. Boise State came closest. They nearly were able to pick it up. Plato is going to get your play of the game, and why wouldn't he? He was playing not for the win, but for the draw, and he was absolutely amazing here. He was able to pop that Deadeye. Bang, bang right there. Takes out both supports, and Plato, huge reason why these teams draw there on 2CP.
I would love to have seen Plato's kill participation in that fight because I'm confident it is at least 60% or above.
It was absolutely insane. Don't forget, our 3v3 Overwatch Showdown presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, broadcast live from the Boise State Esports Arena, is a perfect opportunity to win prizes, shatter your friends, and ask the Army National Guard about how they can help you get an education in gaming interactive media. Finals held live on Saturday, April 16th. We're going to escort next between these two teams, and feels like Boise State still has a bit of an advantage, but West Virginia on that map definitely closed for what we saw on Control. Will look to be a very wide gap between these two teams.
Yes. So, Boise State was definitely misplaying quite a bit on their attack on Volskaya. We would have been able to get a tick and then some if we did not use Shatter and Blizzard in a fight with which our Grav was already down. So, that's what I love about Overwatch. I hate about Overwatch because one mistake can lose you, or in this case, draw you the game.
Yep.
But it can also win you the game. So those decisions on when to use ultimates and when a fight is lost and when to keep fighting ended up costing Boise State there. But on defense, you don't really have to pick when the fight is lost, or you don't have to pick when to take the fight because you're on defense. So you always defend. There's not a point where you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna stop defending. Like, I don't care anymore. Take the point. So that was a thing that worked for Boise State. I also think that I like to think that they learned some from not getting value out of those really big ticket ultimates and causing the draw and costing them ticks on the point. I like to think that they learned from that as well because we saw some absolutely amazing 10 out of 10 huge ultimate value on the side of Boise State on defense. We saw Beanie Bum with the sound barrier with a nanoed Ryan in his team, and that is a scary thing, a nanoed Ryan in the middle of your team. So that beat definitely worth it. Quidgeable, that poor Mercy. While she was playing Mercy, she did not get away from a single Quidgeable bomb, so that was some more ultimate value there. Plato got some huge Deadeye value, and Deadeye is an ultimate where it's really hard to get value. He got value on the single pick on the Bob, but he also got value.
Double support.
Yes, and double support. I talked about how the fight is lost if you're down one support attacking 2CP. But if you're down both supports, you might as well walk off the edge at that. Like, it's not very honorable to just kind of
but save some ult charge, maybe. But yeah, I mean, I was impressed how West Virginia came out early, especially on that first point. I mean, they kind of ripped through
Yes.
Boise State's cheesy little bastion swap back and forth teleporter strategy, and then Boise State's like, okay, you know, let's focus up here. Let's make sure we take care of business. So I mean, like, you're right. I think Boise State probably will look back and say we should have won this. We threw some ults away. But West Virginia did a good job of at least making Boise State work for it after we saw in control. This looked like it might be a Boise State snowball the whole way. So we'll head on to map number 3. It's Escort. Boise State's still up 1-0 in the series after a draw on Assault. And we'll see what the Broncos have in store for West Virginia here and what the Mountaineers can do. I mean, that was a great swap for them to bring in Wilson. I would assume he's going to have to stay because I don't think without him they really stand much of a chance.
I do think, I think Wilson was beneficial to their team, to say the least. I also think the Brave Monk was a huge asset to them, especially on the first point attack, because he was the one that was able to dive in, and instead of feeding, like most monkeys do when diving a Bastion fully pocketed by a Baptiste and a Mercy, he didn't. He made it in.
Yep.
He made it out. He made it in. He made it. It was some absolutely amazing monkey play, but I'm sure his health bar was quite an adventure to look at.
I mean, we saw him at, like, you know, double digits, looked like he was dead in a blizzard, and unfortunately just a cryo freeze came out. But as we were talking about that, looks like Wilson will go back to the bench. Axis will come back in for the side of West Virginia, so we'll see how that will work out for the Mountaineers. For Boise State, they'll change it up once again as Ace will go back to DPS. And we'll bring back Plato. So a bit of a swap back and forth there. And Boise State will go back to the comp that kind of rolled West Virginia.
And hopefully it continues to roll them again, because I'm a Boise State fan, and so I want nothing more than snowballs all day, every day fish.
Brave.
He's trying.
I'm looking to see, I mean, like, it's kind of like he wants to close hold, and the rest of the team's like, nah, don't do it.
He wants to play, he's playing Reinhardt like Winston.
He wanted the cheeky flame strikes, but he wanted. Boise State was like, nah, not today.
We're not going to come out that door. Sorry, though.
So now it looks like it will not be a close hold. West Virginia will sit back. I'm surprised we don't have access up on that second story of that balcony. We've seen a ton of snipers get huge value, both for and against Boise State in other tournaments, but he's going to stay on the ground. Axis will get elimination on an Narble, so I guess that's why he goes where he is and doesn't listen to me. As Boise State now has to kind of retreat here. They also have Quidgible incredibly low. And they're just going to wait for Narbles to respawn in line of sight.
Which definitely is the move. You definitely don't want to push into somebody down one. However, I will say that Axis not taking advantage of the high ground even a little bit is probably a testament to not necessarily being comfortable on snipers. Because that's often, if DPS are afraid of high ground, that often says something about their comfort on heroes like Widowmaker and Hanzo. But it doesn't necessarily have to be this.
That's a huge nano double flame strike for the Brave Monk. I thought Boise State was actually going to win that one, as they had used that Ant Matrix to perfection. Instead, it's a team kill for the side of West Virginia, and that was a perfect nano there from 7-11. The Shatter left much to be desired for Brave Monk, but who cares about Shatter when you get double flame strike?
I mean, we mentioned how dangerous a nano grind was in the middle of your team, and BD Bum just did not have beat for it, and that's usually not something you need to worry about. Like, usually you just run away from the nano grind, but the Brave Monk is playing Reinhardt like monkey, and it's really working well for them.
Shatter came out for Boise State. It was a great sound barrier response from Gino Fran there, so Boise State will once again lose the first members. Plato does get taken out. They're going to have to retreat here. They do get Axis on the way out, so it is a 5-on-5. And Narbles is cryo froze right in the middle of the team. He had the blizzard, but he'll just get taken out. KO9 going to launch that Diva Bomb, pick up a double kill. Both Boise State supports get taken out. Quidgible's just going to have to run away. He will save his Diva Bomb, and Boise State will unfortunately get hit from behind trying to run away.
Ultimately, that wasn't a very high-impact ultimate because Boise State had already lost the fight anyway because the Brave Monk had won the Ryan v Ryan and Plato was down, and usually, unless something very interesting happens, usually if you lose your main tank and they still have theirs, you're going to lose the fight. Now Boise State wants to get a huge ultimate, and you know, we have several, so now the biggest problem is not to pull them all in one place.
The Maywall for Boise State's actually going to totally shut down the Deadeye until the Brave Monk charges into it. Bit of a hero play there. The Blizzard will come down, as well as a Dragon Strike from Axis. It's not going to find anything. Bertal gets taken out with the Ant Matrix there for Boise State. It looks like the Broncos are going to be able to unlock the first play, and Unfortunately, we praised the Brave Monk, but he just went charging into his own death.
Yes, you called it a hero play, Fish. What a nice thing to call it.
I was like, well, that's an unfortunate Maywall, and then I just see the Brave Monk go charging in. Like, that is not where you want to be when there's a Deadeye out.
You also very briefly saw Genofran pick. So 1/3 of their team peeked that Deadeye. And it's unfortunate that the Brave Monk was the one that was punished, but more than one of them was playing peekaboo with the Deadeyeing McCree.
Ooh, Maywall there barely misses cutting off the team. Asu's thinking, does he want to go after Axis? Does he just want to keep putting shots into that front line of West Virginia? He'll opt for the latter. And there's a triple Diva Bomb from Quinchable off screen. And that's going to allow Boise State a huge start to this fight. You know what? Quinchable just says, yeah, I'll just kill everybody. He gets the full 6K for himself. Who needs a team when you got a Diva Bomb?
Cute girl, Quidgeable squad. Yes, Diva, absolutely great. Quidgeable getting huge value out of that Diva Bomb, which is one of the most telegraphed ultimates in the game. So that really is a testament to Quidgeable's map knowledge and ability to be tricky, because the bomb is there and very avoidable, but somehow Quidgeable manages to pull it off.
Great Deadeye right before the sound barrier comes down. They are going to nano the Brave Monk.
Yeah.
We are going to see sound barrier for Beanie Bum come out as well. Unfortunately, that nano's not going to matter. Huge flashbang right onto KO9. Out of the mech he goes. And Boise State, they've been rallied and inspired by Quidgeable. They're going to be able to win another clean fight. They'll start pushing for that dreaded point number 3.
The Brave Monk was getting the full main tank experience there. He was nanoed, so he's like, oh yeah, let's do it, guys. I'm gonna wreck their team.
Nope.
But then he was frozen in a blizzard and then headshot into oblivion and pushed into a corner. Poor guy. Rip.
Both teams going to pull out the Widowmaker. We've seen excellent Widowmakers make this last point nearly impossible to cap. KO9's going to throw out the Diva Bomb first. Able to take down Narbles. The Immortality Field did get committed by Boise State. Now gets committed by West Virginia. Deadeye used the payload because they ain't having none of that. We'll just block off everything. Quidgeable's going to throw in the Diva Bomb. It's another one. These Diva Bombs have been absolutely insane. Genofram goes down. KO9 forced out of the mech. Probably not enough for Boise State to win off of, but definitely enough for them to push off of as KO9 in the Baby Diva form gets taken out. The payloads are going to siege the castle walls. Respawn will come through. Deadeye gets one onto Axis. Boise State has an Ant Matrix and a Shatter available. 7-11 gets taken out. Probably just going to shatter the spawn doors to keep them in there as Narble's the first elimination for Boise State. Shatter does come out onto KO9 trying to contest. Pleb popping off now uncontested with his own Ant Matrix just for himself. Boise State's going to be able to wrap this one up probably just under 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Which is very clean and very rare because Havana, third point, you have to approach like it's 2 CP. And on paper, that fight shouldn't have worked for Boise State because we were down one. But in practice, we were down our Widowmaker, who has the longest sightlines in the game.
Yep.
So by the time Quidgeable was bombing, Widowmaker was already in a position to contribute to the fight. So Boise State actually did have their full team there, and it really helps that Genofran struggles to avoid Quidgeable's bombs.
Yeah, Genofran has been a sitting duck for Quidgeable. I mean, it's crazy to think that on Havana, Boise State struggled the most with the first point, and it wasn't even a close hold. They kind of waltzed through second point on the back of Quidgeable's Diva Bomb, kind of waltzed through third point on the back of Quidgeable's Diva Bomb. First point was the only time they really struggled, and they still were able to get it with about a minute, minute and a half on the clock.
They didn't have a Diva Bomb. That's what it came down to.
We found the answer.
Quidgeable just needs to carry with Diva Bombs. Just win. Just Diva Bomb.
Yeah, just use your ultimate.
5-head.
It's that easy. Well,
it truly is that easy with Quidgeable on your team.
That's true.
I'll be curious what Boise State wants to do because the orange team's more notorious for close holding. The blue team's more kind of relaxed like West Virginia. So I'll be curious in this mixed squad experience if Boise State opts for the close hold or if they opt for the safe hold.
I'm going to go ahead and say that they opt for the safe hold, most probably because usually what drives the close hold is ICL main tank. No, we're just doing the close hold because that's just what we do as Boise State. 10 out of 10.
That's what the orange team loves to do, and they have frustrated teams to no end. And I mean, when West Virginia has to 3-cap, anytime you can bleed off the clock, that could result in an overtime or something else is key. So we'll see. Double Anti's going to land onto both tanks for Boise State. Baits out the Immortality Field for Pleb to keep them alive. The Brave Monk and Genofram all very low, but Plato is the first elimination. The Brave Monk will go down in short order, though. Cryo Freeze does come out from Ace to heal him back up to full life. Vertile's the next one to fall. Boise State's gotten a small advantage here. Are they able to take down KO9 or Axis? Ooh, Axis barely living. That was single digits for sure. KO9 taking down into Baby Deep form. Brave Monk, full main tank experience, already incredibly low on HP. Plato has respawned, and he's back in the fight. Get an escort here for Speedy Buff.
Because of Pleb charging that amplification matrix and because of Narbles getting those eliminations on the free, they were able to hold until Plato got back, which normally it is a death sentence to any team that wants to close hold when they lose their main tank. But Pleb and Narbles, the brothers, are just like, I don't follow your rules. I don't care if my main tank is down. Stay in your spawn until he gets back. You're grounded.
And then Plato immediately comes back, lands double shatter, and West Virginia's now trying to figure out what to do. They have a Riptire and a Nano. They're also coming up on a sound barrier, but Boise State will have their sound barrier as well. Maywall goes up, doesn't find anything. Deadeye from the back line. Not able to find anything, but the Brave Monk's first one taken out. There's a Nano going to go on to KO9. Vertile's popped out of the sky. Quidgible trapped, he does not care. Triple Ante lands on a Boise State. There's just no punish from the side of West Virginia, and now we've seen over 2 minutes here on this close hold.
To be completely fair to West Virginia there, they only had 3 members at best that could have capitalized on that 3-man ante. So, good job 7-Eleven for landing a 3-man ante. You're just down just a little bit, so nobody could take advantage of that.
Quidgible has the Diva Bomb, and we know what that's done for Boise State in the past. Riptire's going to come out. We get a Sound Barrier Blizzard from the side of the Broncos. KO9's going to also throw out his Diva Bomb. Riptire does take down Beanie Bum. That's the only member Boise State's going to lose, as KO9 and the Brave Monk both get taken out. And Boise State's close hold's pretty much a success at this point. They're still going.
Poor Beanie Bum getting solo tired. Beanie Bum was the price, but they did end up winning that fight, and now Quidgible needs to get a huge bomb. Things are actually looking pretty good for West Virginia. They come out with a successful Reaper roll. Boise State's already down one. I mean, especially now that we're down our main healer, they honestly didn't need to use the Blossom.
Huge stun to stop the Blossom. Quidgible, can he get the Diva Bomb? No, he's actually going to hold on to it for the recontest here because Boise State burns so much time off the clock. West Virginia just 2 fights is probably all they have left on first point, and Boise State has enough time to recontest.
It actually is really good that Axis used that Death Blossom on another fight because that was their win condition, and Pleb had already been eliminated and Beanie Bum was still coming back, and so they had already had that fight won. They did not need the Death Blossom. Their biggest hope right now is an absolutely massive Nano and Shatter, but hopefully Boise State's not going to let that happen. Well, there goes Shatter.
Yeah, there goes the double Deadeye. There's the Diva Bomb for one more onto KO9. Asu will get taken out, but with a full team kill, West Virginia is going to have a very frantic recontest here to try and save this point.
Very frantic recontest, assuming that Boise State does not eliminate them outside of their spawn doors, which it looks like they're not just yet.
Got the Nano Shatter. Shatter's going to go down first. Plato hits Q. He gets it onto 3. He takes down the Brave Monk. They're going to Nano KO9, but he's not going to get in time for a grab here. We're going to see Riptire come out. Boise State's being cautious. It's not going to matter. They're going to wipe the floor with the remaining members. We see a Wrecking Ball come out from the Brave Monk just to get back onto the point, but this is just padding the stats of Boise State. Plato gets taken out. I don't think it matters too much. And a huge Shatter from Plato allows Boise State to full hold and put themselves on match point.
I honestly think that's why they didn't hold further up when they only had 19 seconds left on their attack, is because Plato was like, hang on guys, I'm gonna get the Hail Mary of all Shatters. Can't let Quidgible have all the plays. Quidgible actually did switch his highlight intro to the newest Diva one from the Lunar event. So good for Quidgible, branching out.
I mean, he's got to show off because this play was impressive. He's not going to get 3 with the bomb. He's going to get credit for eventually all 6 members. The only thing he missed was, I guess, the half elimination, whatever you want to call the Diva mech. He didn't get credit for that, but Boise State right now setting up to be in a good spot to what could be a very important night, as we mentioned. This is our first match of the night. Play versus West Virginia. Boise State 6-0, West Virginia 5-1. After that, we've got Boise State Orange in the NECC, taking it on Champlain. Winner goes to the playoffs, loser goes home. And then finally, we have our rematch of last year's NECC championship game, Midland and Boise State Blue. Both are in the playoffs. But Boise State wants to get revenge part 2 for Midland taking them down in the NECC finals in December. That's all to come. Right now, it's Boise State and play versus a mixed squad, and so far, pretty good results for them.
Amazing results for the side of Boise State. Fish, I think pretty good is a little bit of an understatement. However, we did see West Virginia struggle with the same problem that Boise State had on Volskaya, with the misuse of a single ultimate, costing them in this case, the chance to continue.
As I said, they would have had a first cap, and they get another point, and then get third point Havana with maybe 2 minutes. Like, it was definitely not
it was not looking
totally
good.
your fault, Axis, but you are right. Maybe if he holds on to that Death Blossom, they at least get first point.
They at least... Listen, Fish, you can't do anything without a chance.
You can't catch the third point if you don't have first point. I'll give you that one, but it would have been very hard. So we'll be kind on Axis. Now we'll go to Kings Row, and we'll see what Boise State has in store, because we know the blue team's kind of gone with this kite 'em out strategy where they just have one person, usually Guac, just sit on the point with the Orisa. Orange team usually just kind of goes with the standard Kings Row hold, so I'll be curious to see what Boise State wants to do. Also be curious to see the team comps. We've seen Boise State experiment. They've somehow had more success with Plato on a tank than on a DPS, which is kind of ironic. But who knows what we'll see for Boise State.
I will say that I am fully expecting them to go Ryan Zarya. It's just a matter of whether Icy or Quidgeable will probably Ryan or Zarya, because Quidgeable has been learning main tanks, so he is getting comfortable somewhat on Reinhardt, and I see the same for Zarya. But in general, Quidgeable is more known for his Zarya, and Icy is Reinhardt. So, I mean, I think that's the only thing that you're going to have to look for there.
See what West Virginia does with Wilson and Axis as well. Who's going to be playing on that one, I would think. Maybe you give Wilson a shot. He at least got him to a draw on 2 CP, so maybe they do that. Axis, I mean, we talked about it, a little bit trigger happy with the Death Blossom. Ate a concussive to the face as well, so the Death Blossom didn't even get that much value, which is the sad thing.
It's always a sad day when you eat a concussive to the face. It's even sadder, more sad, when you were Reaper ulting in the middle of it. It's just sad when your ultimate gets totally canceled.
If he gets a 4K Death Blossom, like, even though it's the bad play, it's still cool. Like, when you get a 1 Death Blossom kill and then you get stopped and it was the wrong play, like, that's a real feels bad for Axis.
Feels bad.
That's just
feels
like
bad, man.
That's a Sag in the chat right there. Just, it's like, you made the wrong play and you got stopped
and
ulting.
it didn't even look cool. Because if it looks cool enough, even the wrong play can be overlooked. So
exactly.
It's very sad.
Name a player who wouldn't take play of the game in a losing effort over, like, going 0 for 10 but winning. I mean, you know.
Especially name a DPS player.
Exactly. DPS players are like, I was 25-1 in that last loss. Like, what were you in your win? I don't want to talk about it. I only care about my personal stats. But I don't think that's how Boise State plays. That's how solo queue plays players, though. But thank goodness this isn't solo queue. We'd be here. We'd be still in queue for DPS, honestly.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think I think the stat he is most concerned with is KD ratio. I absolutely have no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I have like 30 I get like 10 deaths a minute, or 10 deaths per 10, but I get 30 eliminations per 10. I'm like, well, it's really good and also really bad.
If you manage to eliminate half their team, see, this is the DPS dilemma, right?
Yeah.
That causes a lot of problems on 2CP specifically and third point Havana. So usually, if you're a DPS, you can afford to trade.
Yep.
You can afford to be eliminated.
Yep.
Especially if you get the pick on their support, or in Goblin's case, if you eliminate half their team. If you can eliminate half their team as DPS, but you get eliminated, it does not matter at that point. It is going to take a miracle for them to continue to hold 3v5. However, if you are the thing that harms some DPS when they try to multi-class into tank or healer is you cannot trade as a tank or a healer. Do not do it. You cannot. That is just something that
as long as you say worth in team chat or all chat, it was worth it.
Yes,
you snooty support mains have to respect that it was worth it for us.
Yes.
You know, don't tell us that we're doing it wrong. We got 2 kills. I don't care what happened after that.
I am Baptiste, and I traded for the Junkrat. Worth.
Exactly.
Worth.
Well, we will hop into Kings Row now. We do go back to the comps we saw on Volskaya. Wilson in on the side of West Virginia in the blue. Icy and Quidgeable are in, and it'll be Icy and Plato actually on the tank stuff. So Quidgeable now DPSing on the May. See how that goes for him.
I mentioned it before tonight. May is basically Reinhardt. Quidgeable will have a great time.
Poor Maywall cuts off. I think that was Plato, but he doesn't care. He gets a solo kill onto Wilson. Quidgeable's been taken out, but the Brave Monk will fall. Vertile goes down as well. And Boise State says, new comp, no problem. They run through West Virginia, and they'll get the payload with ease.
Plato says, I walk. Boise State says, I follow, and they win.
Plato's like, we're holding W, boys, girls. We're going in. I don't care that I got caught on the wrong side of the wall and maul. I'll just kill the May. You can't wall and maul me when the May's dead.
To be fair, he did have Quidgeable with him, so I understand why that bolstered his confidence a little bit, but I would have loved to have seen Plato's POV there because that man had no fear. No Esky, no fear.
No, whole W. That's how I like to see Boise State play. There's another Maywall. Questionable charge there from Plato, who put the shield up. Another Maywall comes out to try and stop him. Wilson's going to get stunned. We'll be able to come out of it. Brave Monk's going to have the shatter first as an animation comes down for Boise State. There's the shatter, lands right onto Plato, but an immortality field going to keep him alive. 4-man anti lands though from 7-11. If nothing else, this man lands anti after anti. The only problem is his team's never had a follow-up for him.
It's really easy to land an anti as Ana when you're walking into their team after a lost fight because you want them to eliminate you so you don't get staggered. I will say, I do not know if that is what 7-11 was doing, but it is very easy to land a 4-man anti when you're walking into their team to be eliminated.
They were only down 2. Winnable. Still winnable. Well, we'll see what happens. Plato's now got the shatter. Great Maywall cuts the team off. Deadeye's going to come out here. Wilson's the first one, but Vertile's having none of that. Headshot right onto Narbles. Nano will go on to the Brave Monk. Dragon Strike will come through. Boise State should be able to live it there. Plato committed the shatter, not able to find any value. There's a blizzard here from Quidgeable right on top of the point. The Brave Monk will be the first one taken out. KO9 will fall right after him. They're sitting on a grass, but West Virginia's nowhere close. Boise State's going to be able to get this second point and have a ton of time on the clock.
Plato being a Brave Man, the sequel, he went head-to-head with the Brave Monk as a Nanorine in that hallway corridor.
Plato has shown no fear. It's a DPS.
The thrilling saga.
This is Plato's adventure, his main tank.
Plato's bizarre adventure.
Let's see if another Maywall puts him on the wrong side as Quidgeable and KO9 get traded for. Boise State will retreat. Just push the payload and wait for a respawn there. Shatter! Plato says, never mind. How about 5? I'll do it myself. Gets doubled. Narbles gets one more. Blizzard comes out from Wilson. Not going to matter. He goes down. And Plato's making a case for him to take over apparently Boise State's new Ryan because this man has no fear and no weakness.
No weakness that West Virginia has been able to exploit.
That's true.
Thus far, at least.
Oh, nice grab comes out there from Icy. Beanie still holding on to the sound barrier as Pleb got right in their face, threw down the M matrix. Icy's trying to hunt down 7-11. A 2-man sound barrier comes out from Gino Fran. I don't think that's going to do too much except maybe bleed some time off the clock. Boise State will get it done. 4 minutes, 25 seconds left, and West Virginia really had no answer.
In Gino Fran's defense, when you are double support forced to contest against the entire enemy team, there is not much you can do in general.
That's true. That is true.
In his humble defense.
Unfortunately, there was a little bit of BMing there for Boise State. Zarya was just trying to punch down the Baptiste instead of just killing him. Then he ate a shield, but didn't matter in the end.
Icy's having fun.
I mean, would you roll on King's Row like that? No shame in having fun. Uh-oh. Well, West Virginia, I know what that comp means.
Hopefully they get the teleporter down. Boise State had a little bit of a problem with that. So hopefully they get the teleporter down. And Quidgeable's not on Diva. So Gina Friend should be excited about that. I'm knocking on Gina Friend a lot for dying to the bombs, but Gina Friend actually did have good Mercy movement. It is just hilarious that there was not a quenchable bomb that happened that he did not die to as Mercy.
Quenchable's just was cracked tonight with
Yes,
those Diva
quenchable
bombs.
was cracked.
I mean, he averaged a kill per Diva bomb. That's not something you usually see.
Which is huge, because normally a Diva bomb is like, oh, it's very pretty, I see it, I'm gonna avoid dying to
I'm in the zone, you know, we'll see what happens. Well, West Virginia's gonna come out with their own Statue of Liberty play, you would assume. So you betcha Boise State had some issues last week. The orange team did trying to get the teleporter down. Right now, West Virginia hasn't even found a teleporter. Great Maywall is going to land onto Vertile. He is able to jump off, though. There's the teleporter. And immediately gets burned down before Vertile can even hop into it. So Boise State was more than ready for that. And West Virginia still can't walk through the first choke point here. You see Pleb get some high ground, put some damage out. Nobody's really flinching. It's a game of chicken between the two Reinhardts. Plato's getting a couple hammer swings through the wall. There is an Ant Matrix up for 7-11, and Plato does get stunned. Brave Monk gets shattered first. Teleporter finally does go down. But Brave Monk's the first elimination. Wilson gets one on to Narbles now. Boise State's got to be careful, but Vertile gets taken out. That's going to bring the whole comp to a grinding halt and send West Virginia back to spawn.
I will say, their Symmetra did get a pick there, and I mean, it's sad that Narbles was the price, but after that first teleporter got absolutely melted and they couldn't get the Bastion in the position that they wanted, they probably should have swapped off of Symmetra Bastion and saved themselves 15 seconds of Reinhardt's playing pick.
Well, they're going to swap over to the pharmacy now, something we've seen a lot from Boise State. Unfortunately, Vertile's going to need an icicle right to the head. Gino Fram will get a revive. Shatter's going to come down from Plato. One of his rare missions tonight is it's going to get blocked up by the Brave Monk. Gravitic Flux does come out from KO9 as well as a Valkyrie from Gino Fram. We've got the Molten Core down from Narbles trying to burn the team. Finally gets Wilson take it down. And West Virginia, unfortunately, just has not found ways to get elimination so far, as it looks like KO9 barely gets into spawn. But that Maywall is going to stop Gino Fran from retreating.
Part 3 of the thrilling Plato's Bizarre adventure there. He walked into the enemy team, shattered from behind them, missed the shatter, but then walked through the amplification matrix, not even holding shield. He just walked at a Baptiste through an amplification matrix, and the Baptiste, instead of shooting him down, just backed up and hit around the corner, and then got eliminated, because then Plato was in his face, and there was nothing he could do. The saga continues.
Plato shows no fear. The grab comes down from Icy. Doesn't look like Boise State's going to get any value from it. Plato has the shatter and gets immediately blocked. Pulse bomb only takes down Immortality. Field Vertile's able to take down Pleb, though. Gravitic Flux comes out. Quenchable does not have the cryo freeze, so he'll get slammed back down, but Wilson's going to walk right into an icicle, so both teams down one. Gino Fram could maybe get the res, but Vertile's now pop it off. He's got two. A shatter is going to come out. Quenchable will commit the Blizzard, freezes the Mercy, should be able to take out the Brave Monk, but has to reload, and that's quite unfortunate. I think that, not his fault, but going to be the reason why West Virginia's going to extend this game and unlock the payload.
They have a chance, Fish. You can't get the last point without getting the first point. So here is their chance, and honestly, it was because of Vertile. Vertile gave them that chance. He got a lot of eliminations, and now he has Rocket Barrage, so we should be seeing some tricky things there. The unfortunate thing for Quenchable was that he used Blizzard, and so now doesn't have it to secure this hold, but we do have Amplification Matrix. So there is a shot at Boise State continuing to hold this.
They've just got to find a way to counter that Rocket Barrage. They don't have Sound Barrier. It's close, though, 75% in climbing. But if Vertile can pull the trigger, he should be able to get a few eliminations. But Club's just going to take it down. He'll just Ant Matrix through. And West Virginia, unfortunately, a bit too hesitant. Immortality Field's going to be solo put down to save the Brave Monk. Boise State burns it, and then will immediately burn down the tank. Pulse Bomb comes out from Wilson, not able to find anything. KO9 goes down, and unfortunately West Virginia just took too long to hit Q.
To be fair, their Pharah wasn't really in any sort of a good position to hit Q. She just didn't drop fast enough. When the Amplification Matrix came down, if you're an aerial hero, you need to hit the ground like a rock. You need to get behind some cover. And Vertile wasn't ready for the Amplification Matrix, so he got eliminated and gave Boise State an extra fight.
Well, Boise State, unfortunately.
This is what happens when Vertile's ready for it.
Yeah,
guys.
he got the double rocket barrage earlier when Boise State was getting a little campy, and then 3 members of Boise State just walk into a rocket.
Pro tip, don't walk into rockets, especially if they're damage boosted. I don't know, man. Gino, Fran, and Vertile, unstoppable. We need the quadruple bomb. They need to be stopped. The aerial support duo needs to be stopped. We need quadruples bombs.
I don't know. We've never actually seen people change roles mid-game. I don't know if that's even allowed, but it might be what Boise State needs. But they have plenty of ults here. They're going to contest. Gravitic Flux will come out. Sound Barrier from Beanie Bum going to cancel out all of that damage. Vertile already has another rocket barrage. Shatter does come down and unfortunately miss. There's the rocket barrage for Vertile. He'll find 2 more. And that should allow West Virginia to unlock this second point and give him a chance at overtime here. As Vertile, the only member, take it down. But the res comes out and it's like it never even happened.
Gino, Fran, unsung hero, because Vertile has definitely been the one that has been wrecking Boise State the single most. And Gino Friend's there just to pick him up when he gets logged or otherwise eliminated.
Vertile, ever since that kill to the Ant Matrix, has not gone down and has picked up, I think, 7 or 8 kills in a row. As Immortality Field comes down from Pleb, it's also going to come down from 7-11. They'll both be eliminated. There, Vertile's taken out. We are going to get a grab and a blizzard from the side of Boise State, and that's going to allow them to work through West Virginia in short order. Gino Fram will just jump off the edge, and Boise State showing some signs of life here finally.
Now, Kings Row is definitely a point, third point, that you can hold for up to 5 minutes. So it is totally manageable for Boise State here to hold for 1 minute and 36 seconds. I will absolutely say. There is a shot here. They just need to not walk into some rockets.
Vertile's close to the rocket barrage, but with Narbles now on that Ash, that could also be shut down very quickly. As a Shatter will come down from Plato, unfortunately not able to find anything. Double Immortality Fields will come down. Rocket Barrage only gets Pleb's Immortality Field, so a great play there, but the Deadeye does take down Icy. And Matrix will go down for Boise State. Trying to fend off West Virginia. Beanie Bum gets taken out. Gino Fram goes down, then Vertile, so no res available. Gravitic Flux will come out from KO9. Boise State trying to burn him down, and they will. And it's the Narbles and Pleb show right now as they're able to dual-handedly put West Virginia on last fight.
Plato's Bizarre Adventure Part 3 was witnessed during that fight, or Part 4. We're on Part 4 now. Golden Win, for those of you who are keeping track. Plato just charged through the enemy team at less than 10 bars of health when his Immortality Field had already been used through a Sigma Flux.
Double shattered there for Plato. That's going to be huge, but an Immortality Field from 7-11 keeps them all alive. Brave Monk will get booped down off the edge. The camera goes looking for the corpse. Unfortunately for Boise State, they're all going to be sent back to spawn, and we're going to get one last fight here on the point to see if we're going to overtime or if Boise State wins this one in regulation.
We need to get a huge blizzard here, so there's a lot of pressure on Quidgible, and there's a lot of pressure on Vertile to get value, but his Mercy is going to be unable to res outside of their spawn. So, which is not Gina Fran's fault, by the way, that he can't get that res. That was entirely Vertile being outside of their spawn.
Matrix goes down, Sound Barrier, Blizzard both come out. Wilson will be taken down. KO9 incredibly low. He barely holds on. There's a grab right on top of the payload for KO9 and the Brave Monk. Great May wall with Brave Monk on the wrong side. Can Boise State wall and maul the Reinhardt? Doesn't look like it. Now he'll get frozen and should be taken out in short order. And Boise State's going to hold just meters in front of the parking spot. And they'll win 3-0 here in our first match of the night.
Boise State, I'm always here for the 3-0s. I love it. And
Well,
I'm
that
also
was like
here
a
for the
three-
Narcos play of the game. Let's go.
That was like a 3-0-1 because we did have a draw.
Yes, we did have a draw. We did have a draw. It was very poor Gino Fran.
And that was a great play there by Narbles because the headshot on Gino Fran meant there was no res available for Vertile. He also shut down KO9 as well. At Boise State, it's the 3-0 winners in our first match of the night, but there's still plenty more to come. That was probably the least exciting. No offense to West Virginia, but we've got a grudge match and a playoff spot on the line in our next 2 matches, D'Angelo. But that 3-0 win is a great way to set the tone for the rest of the night.
I have the Torb Hammer for the rest of the night. So that should tell you how important the next games we're playing are, Fish. I've got it right here, ready to cheer on the teams. I've been told Goblin will be playing Reaper instead of Torb, so it'll be cheering on the Reaper. But we also need Orange Team to win against Champlain. So we really need the Torb Hammer.
Yeah, we still have a pair of huge games in the NECC, as D'Angelo alluded to. We'll start off with Boise State Orange versus Champlain. Winner goes to the playoffs. Loser will go home. Right now, Boise State has sent all but one of their teams to the respective playoffs in the NECC. So it will be a shame if the Orange team can't get it done. And then, as you mentioned, the blue team, they'll be taking on Midland. Both teams in the playoffs, but it's a grudge match. Boise State hasn't lost a regular season game to Midland. It's so great, D'Angelo. But they lost last year's NECC championship.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, that's not so good.
That was last year. We don't talk about it, Fish. We won this year.
It was they say you're still the champ till somebody somebody else wins. So Midland's the defending NECC champ. It's going to be tough for Boise State Blue, but we still got a pair of great games coming up right around the corner. Your final thoughts, though, on our play versus match and your nomination for the ICCU Player of the Game as well.
I want to say either Pleb or Narbles, to be perfectly honest, because they both had a lot of mostly DPS-oriented plays, even though Pleb was on main heals. They both got a lot of eliminations and did a lot of useful things. I mean, the last play we just watched was the Narbles show. Plato's Bizarre Adventure was going on in the background, charging through the sick mode.
I kind of want to give it to Plato just for his tank adventure. His
4-part saga of Plato's Bizarre Adventure. Quidgeable, though, with those Diva Bombs, poor Gino Friend. But of course you're going to see Gino Friend get eliminated because, again, on Polskaya there was not one that he did not get eliminated to playing Mercy, which, again, is more of a testament to Quidgeable's skill than anything because Gino Friend was not a bad Mercy.
Oh, no, not at all.
Quidgeable was just...
He was on another level. I mean,
Quidgeable was just like, if this is going to get one person, it's going to be the
It was a kill per Diva Bomb at least.
Yes.
I didn't see a single Diva Bomb miss from Quidgeable when he was on the Diva. So very deserving of that ICCU Player of the Game. I mean, right here, you know, he's like, okay, I'll get 3 with the bomb, and then he just gets 3 more. I mean, you could argue he kills Golem, sure.
Don't worry.
But you just got your off tank 6 kills in a fight. I mean, that doesn't get you ICCU Player of the Game. I don't know what does. So congratulations to him. ICCU, he's a great player, makes a team more successful. It's like Idaho Central's helping their members achieve financial success. Quidgeable, your ICCU Player of the Game for our first one of 3-0 over West Virginia. But we talked about it. Torbjorn Hammer's ready. We still got a ton of great things around the corner. And the first one, who's going to the playoffs in the NECC? Is it Boise State Orange or is it Champlain? Find out next.
That was when he walked.
On the retreat for the Mountaineers. Maybe able to find one on to Gino Fran now, and that Lucio doesn't look like it. Oh, does get him. Can he get one more to Wilson? Yes, he can. You called it D'Angelo. Plato, he wants to win.
Minds have to remind him that he is in fact not a god and only a mere man.
Oh my goodness, you mentioned the Masters Reaper there. Well, how about a triple kill?
That was an absolutely massive nano and shatter, but hopefully Boise State's not going to let that happen. Well, there goes shatter.
Yeah, there goes the double deader. There's the Diva Bomb for one more on the KO9. Asu will get taken out, but with a full team kill, West Virginia is going to have a very frantic recontest here to try and save this point. Boise State will retreat. Just push the payload and wait for a respawn there. Shatter! Plato says, never mind. How about 5? I'll do it myself. Gets doubled. Darbles gets one more. Blizzard comes out from Wilson. Not going to matter. He goes down. And Plato's making a case for him to take over apparently Boise State's new Ryan because this man has no fear. Axis is you just want to keep putting shots into that front line of West Virginia. He'll opt for the ladder. And there's a triple Diva Bomb from Quinchable off screen. And that's going to allow Boise State a huge start to this fight. You know what Quinchable just says? Yeah, I'll just kill everybody. He gets the full 6K for himself. Who needs a team when you got a Diva Bomb? Johnny just lives. Welcome back in. Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. As we mentioned, we've got a big one here between Boise State Orange and Champlain. One of these teams is going to the playoffs in the NECC. The other one will see their season come to a dramatic halt. And we're about to find out which one of those it is going to be. Fisher D'Angelo still here on the call. Production getting ready to go. And this one is a very simple one for Boise State Orange and Champlain. Win, you're in the playoffs. Lose, you're going home. Because if Boise State wins, they'll have the better record. They will advance just as simple as that. If Champlain wins, regardless if it's a 2-1 or a 3-0, we've always talked about throughout the season. Map score matters, D'Angelo. Map score matters.
Yes.
This is why it matters. Champlain advances and they win on map score. So for Boise State Orange, unfortunately, a bit too many 3-0s happened throughout the season. So now, one of these teams playing for the playoffs, one of them playing, and is going to have to unfortunately find a new hobby. And we'll see what happens here. Boise State beat them the first time, if that means anything to you, D'Angelo, though.
That does mean things to me, Fish, because Boise State is a learning team.
Yep.
So typically, if we lose to somebody, we'll be more prepared to beat them the second time. But if we already beat you the first time, Orange is not the Boise State team that has problems with getting a little too cocky. I will say that. So I do think that it is likely that we will see a repeat here, but I did bring the Smashy Torp Hammer just in case, because Boise State Orange really needs this, and I want them to have this, Fish.
Yeah, Boise State Orange has been, I mean, I guess you could call it like the Jekyll and Hyde season for them. They have some head-scratching losses to teams that have already been eliminated from the playoffs, and they also have a win over the second-place team in UC Santa Cruz. I mean, it just does not make any sense. You see the two teams here for Boise State. Looks like Nerdy Bird will be starting off in the support role. I know that Beanie Bum and them have been trading off, usually 2 games to 1, so we'll see if Beanie's able to play in this one. I know we talked about how he was instrumental in not only rallying the team, but also playing map 1 against UC Santa Cruz. But I'll be very curious to see what happens here because, like I said, we've had really great performances for Orange, and then we've had performances where, like, how did that happen? Like, what happened? It's been a very up-and-down season.
But you know what? One of their great performances was against Champlain.
That's true. That is there. They have 2 wins. They have a few wins on the season. One's Champlain, one's the UC Santa Cruz. And I mean, when you beat Champlain once, I mean, I mean, you think it would go your way. But unfortunately, as we said, it could come down to simply match score between these 2 teams. One's going to the playoffs. One is going home. It's a 3-game series. We'll play all 3. Once the team wins 2, since it is the last week of the season, the 3rd map actually will not matter. So, I mean, if Boise State just wins 2 right out, they'll just advance right away. So that would be a nice little way to go. But, I mean, what are your expectations here for Orange? We saw a few of them. Well, I'll get to that right after we get to Doc's keys to the game. We always talk about never take a fair fight. What does that mean? Take fights in unexpected places when they are unprepared and when you can have ability advantages. It's all brought to you by Count, whose Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, enables a personalized customer experience. More than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. You want to stay safe online, go check them out at count.com. But, I mean, what are your expectations for the Orange team? We saw 3 or 4 of them kind of intermixed in our play versus game. They're pretty strong, though. So, I mean, what are you looking for here on our first map in the NECC for Orange versus Champlain?
Well, I'm prepared for Quidgeable to carry on the E-Girl. My expectations have been set very high for Quidgeable's D.Va play tonight. Quidgeable has been known to force D.Va sometimes, even if it's not necessarily the right pick. Yep. But I think if there's any night to force D.Va for Quidgeable, it's going to be tonight because he was just on fire when he was playing D.Va, which was very nice. I will say that through personal interviews with the Orange team, namely Icy, this is something they really care about. This is something they really want to win. They've been warming up for hours before this, and Icy, Quidgeable, Narbles, and Pleb all played just before this, and they're all warmed up and all ready to go. So now we just need Frost and Nerdy to play on that super fiery level and do what they did last time.
It is going to be a very intense series. It would not shock me if we go into Game 3 tied at 1 aside. I mean, we mentioned Boise State did beat Champlain, but these teams are neck and neck in the standings. One of them will have to, unfortunately, be eliminated from the playoffs here. And we will kick things off. Boise State in the blue, Champlain in the red. And actually, it's like Beanie Bum will be in for the first match. Apologies to Beanie Bum. So he will be in to start things off. We'll see if he can inspire the team like he did against UC Santa Cruz. His Tracks, the first one taken out, but Quidgeable will fall as well. Icy is incredibly low. So Boise State will retreat here, and it looks like everybody's going to respawn, and Boise State will just hand the point over to Champlain without their tank.
Off support for off tank is a little bit of a questionable trade. Kind of depends on the positioning of the team on who truly has the advantage there, because they're both important roles. Of course, the Mercy will get back faster than Rosaria, but
Ross going to get taken out by Latio there. Boise State might want to contemplate disengaging, but they'll stay with it. Icy's very low. Now he'll jump out. Beanie Bum's been anti. Latio gets another one. Quidgeable does get one back onto Mage, though. And the res from Trax is going to nullify that, and Boise State's got to reset once again.
Someone stop Java Chup. Someone do it. Whether or not, I'm calling it now, whether or not Boise State is able to win depends on whether or not they are able to stop Java Chup from getting those huge antis that have handed them 2 fights and a massive ultimate advantage.
They get the first ult.
There it is!
Nano on to Quidgeable. They're going to take down Java Chup and Luxy. Frosty is the next target, but Trax will fall to prevent a res. Frosty will go down next. Can Latio go down? He did get one on the Pleb, and there Boise State goes. They'll pick up the full kill, and they'll flip the point at 50%.
Java Chup's been stopped. There it is. When you stop Java Chup, you win the fight. However, Champlain's sitting at a massive ultimate advantage. We're probably going to see Nano and Duplicate come out, and that'll be enough to win them the fight. And then they'll have Grav for the fight after that. So Boise State really needs to win this dry fight here and get picks now before their full team is there.
Get a good pulse on that would be huge. Rally's going to come out. Nano's going to go on to Luxy. Has the Primal Rage available when he drops low, but Trax is taken out. There's no revive. Icy's going to pop the Primal Rage to get Java Chup. Both supports down. Luxy did commit the Primal Rage to stay alive. Frosty will just beat his ult though. Latio dropped the Duplicate. Wasn't able to get anything. Pleb does get taken out. Luxy will fall on a huge pick onto both Champlain supports. Then Boise State picks up the fight.
Pleb was the cost. Both teams have a Tracer hard running after their Ana, but Java Chup did die first, courtesy of Icy and also Trax. And you know, when both of your supports are down, they really shouldn't have used Duplicate or their other ultimates that they used, but they did, and that's good for Boise State.
Grab comes out. Boise State throws a pulse bump onto Java Chup. They'll lose Quidgeable though, and Trax is able to get a revive, which absolutely flips it on Boise State with the Valkyrie pops as well. Looks like Pleb will be taking it out. So despite both grabs and an early fight lead for Boise State, nobody can shut down Trax. Narble's able to get one, and now Champlain's able to flip the point right back.
And now Java Chup is in a much more defensively advantageous position. We saw Java Chup struggling and usually being eliminated first or second on their attacks, but now that Java Chup is on defense, I fully expect to see some tricky plays unless Narbles can get on him like immediately right when the fight begins. I cannot emphasize enough how much them winning depends on picking that on.
Sleep's going to go on to Icy, who has Nano there by Pleb. Duplicate's going to come out for Frost. He's going to pick the Winston. try and burn down the enemy team. They'll trade 1 for 1, but Javachup's going to be the next one to fall. Pleb is taken out, but Frosty will go down. An incredibly close fight. Both teams trading back eliminations. The Primal Rage is popped there by Frost. He's not able to take down Mage. And now Boy State has to be careful with the point at 94%. Latio and Narbles both able to pick up a kill. Frost gets one more onto Latio as we see Luxy come rushing in. Boy State's in overtime. They've got to find a way to blow up the point, and the respawns are coming now for both sides, with Champlain in the red and Boy State in the blue in this NECC match, map number 1. Nano's going to go on to Frosty, but a double anti's going to land. Rally comes out for Beanie Bum. And Luxy gets the Primal Rage off to be able to heal back up to full. Boy State has no ults left in the tank. There's still a pulse bomb for Mage. He'll throw it down.
Why did you walk into that?
And Frost is going to be able to, unfortunately, be taken out. Boise State, though, did get one onto Trax. It's now over onto Brig. But it looks like Boise State's going to fall just short on this map as Narbles is the last one left. And Champlain will win control map number 1.
Very close, very unfortunate. Especially walking into that pulse bomb.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Boise State, but hey, they're not out of it yet. They can still come back here on control because that was a very, very close fight, and unfortunately, they just couldn't clean wipe Champlain when they needed to, and that allowed Luxy mainly to get back on the point and contest Boise State, but Boise State was waiting on both their tanks to come back.
I will say, Champlain, Luxy is doing a very good job on the Monkey. And Javachup is doing a really good job on the Ana. Javachup is doing such a nice job on the Ana that whether or not Boise State is able to succeed is dependent on how well they counter Javachup. But also, in terms of point contesting, if they don't deal with the Monkey, they lose. So really, the rest of Champlain is doing their parts and doing things. But whether or not Boise State wins or loses depends on whether or not we can pick Javachup early fight and then pick up Luxy mid-fight. We really can't let either one of them make it to late fight.
Boise State has a bit of confidence here. Frost taking a ton of damage from Latio on that Echo, and Frost is going to get the first elimination onto Frost. The Immortality Field is baited out there for Pleb and immediately gets burned down. Latio is low as well as Luxy. No damage really onto Javachup, though, who you pointed out needs to be the first target for Boise State to focus down. Icy very low. Not able to survive Latio, who is a menace on that Echo. Was in the first match between the two teams as well, and Boise State's unfortunately going to be forced to reset here.
The first fight is the most important on control, and we did lose the first fight there because of that very nice anti onto Frost. And when you go down your Ashe on a long-range map like that, kind of unfortunate, because not only are you down 1, but I mean, there's not exactly a ton that the rest of the team can do compared to Ashe from long range to Champlain.
Also got Narbles on the Hanzo now, so Boise State is fully geared up to try and shut down that Echo, who has the duplicate available. First all in the game, we'll see if he wants to use it. Pleb's also got an Amp Matrix, but they're looking for that Echo. Not able to find it. Now they're going to get sandwiched here. There's the duplicate going to go on to the Sigma, but there's a great elimination on to Javachup. Dragon Strike comes through as well as an Amp Matrix, but there is a Primal Rage and a grab coming out from Champlain as well as the Gravitic Flux. Pulse Bomb comes out as well, and Champlain says, you know what, great fight win. We'll just throw every ult we have at you. Boise State still holding on. Spindel's going to throw his own Gravitic Flux back. Unfortunately, Boise State, you got to fight on the nodes, not on the roads, because right now the point's already up at 75% and climbing before Boise State even gets a pinky toe on it.
Boise State is on it, and we're in last fight territory. We really need to kill this Echo right now if we want any chance at holding.
Supercharger comes down from Icy. We're going to see the rally come up from Trax. And that's a great pick on Latio. Frosty gets taken out as well. Supercharger gets a ton of value. Luxy finally is able to burn it down. Dynamite takes out Javachup and Trax. Boise State gets a clean win, but they're not out of the woods yet.
Once we eliminated that Echo, I mean, the fight was still sketchy, and definitely every team member needed to do their best, but once we killed that Echo, this fight was definitely in Boise State territory. And now, because we won that fight, we are at a massive ultimate advantage. We are in a position to hold this and win that map. This team should not give up now because we really have a shot here, a really good shot. We need to get good Bob value, preferably some good drag, and that definitely helps. Good job, Woodjable.
Great pick onto Latio. The rally does come out from Beanie Bum as well. Luxy's going to be able to retreat, so will Trax now, who's swept over to that Mercy. And oh, that's a great stagger on the base
Quidgible
as well.
popping off.
That could put Champlain in last fight territory as well, depending if they want to push here or wait for the respawn.
They probably want to wait for the respawn because they know they're getting close to it. So now it comes down to, in this last fight territory, do Frost and Narbles get huge ultimates off?
Nano goes on to Luxy. Beanie Bum's the first one taken out. Bob's going to get called in. There's a Primal Rage from Luxy. Ant Major comes down from Pleb. His Immortality Field is burned through. Duplicate from Latillo is going to be used on the Orisa, but Luxy's the one popping off right now. Looks like it's going to be a full wipe here. Beanie Bum might be able to get onto the point in time. It's going to be close, but I think Boise State gets one last very hectic recontest.
And notice we say recontest and not full fight. Things are not looking good for Boise State right now. We need to get a huge Gravitic Flux, probably comboed with the Dragon, and I think that's what we're hoping for here.
Pick.
And we pick Luxy.
Though. Can he get the revive?
Oh,
yes,
we
he
lost
can.
Our ult combo's gone.
That might be the difference maker. Yeah, Boise State's unfortunately going to get wiped there. Grab comes out from Frosty. So Champlain will put themselves one game away from the playoffs. Boise State did all they could, but unfortunately for the Broncos, that was a great res by Trax to immediately flip the fight and put Champlain back up one.
Actually, so Fish, the res from Trax was a big deal because it got them back to their full team. But what really was unfortunate was the elimination of not only Narbles, but then Quidgible quickly after that, because Quidgible was the first person going to the point, because, I mean, as you do, you're the tank, you touch the point to get it to overtime, right?
Yep.
So neither one of them was necessarily not doing their job, but that more than the res is what cost us that last fight.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate it took Boise State until 75% to flip the point, so it put them in that spot where they only had one fight left. Don't forget, the 3v3 Overwatch Showdown presented by the Idaho Army National Guard is coming your way. April 16th and 17th, broadcast live from the BSU Esports Arena. Perfect opportunity to win some prizes, shatter your friends, and ask the Army National Guard about how they can help you get an education in gaming and interactive media. Right now, it's the NECC. Boise State Orange taking on Champlain. Winner to the playoffs. Loser season will be wrapped up. And unfortunately for Boise State Orange, they're going to have to manage a reverse sweep here, D'Angelo, because they lost control, which means they've only got 2 chances left here, and they cannot lose another map.
Hey, you know what? 2 chances is more than 1 chance.
That is true. That is true. You see.
You know.
You got the
we need more hammer
ready.
Swings. I don't think I swung the hammer enough.
No, you didn't. I mean, no one played
that's
Torb,
why we lost.
So
It does not matter.
Torb
exists in the soul, not in the game. Torb exists in the soul, Fish. Torb is wherever you want him to be, wherever he's needed. And right now he's definitely needed because Boise State Orange needs to pull off the reverse sweep.
Yep.
But it's definitely doable for them because it's not like they got completely rolled.
Yeah.
It's like they made a couple of mistakes, usually revolving around ultimates or not getting them off. And that's what lost them fights, and that's what lost them the map. So, I mean, things are a lot better for Boise State when the problems you need to solve are micro issues that are very obvious and easy to identify.
Yep.
Than like when you have like when you're just getting rolled. There's so many things to identify that you can't like focus on any single one of them. You need to solve like 7 problems at once, right? But Boise State is just having the problem of mostly ultimate usage, letting them getting value out of their ultimates and not letting themselves get value out of their ultimates, because they're getting a lot of pre-fight picks that are very valuable, but they're not following that up with ultimate value. And we've also seen some really we've also let the enemy team get value out of their ultimates when we really shouldn't have either. So, but that's really easy to identify. So, like when Frost walked into the Pulse.
Yep.
Frost, I think you're great, but that probably lost them that fight, right?
Yeah.
But that's really easy to identify and really easy not to do. Don't walk into the Pulse. So Frost isn't going to walk into another Pulse, right? He's not going to lose another fight in that way because he's a learning player, obviously. And Boise State is a learning team. And because these problems are so easy to identify, I think we're going to be able to do them. We need to get value out of our ultimates. We need to stop their Ana, truly. Not let that Ana get value. And we need to actually focus Luxy when he dives in. Like, Luxy needs to go back to spawn. Luxy needs to press dive and go back to spawn, truly. Because when he is allowed to do anything, it's horrible.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what Boise State has. They've got to learn quickly because this is an elimination game. It's not a best of 3 that we play in the NECC, but since this is the last week and there is no map score component that will matter if Champlain wins a series, they advance to the playoffs. Boise State cannot let things go awry here on Hollywood. We'll sub in Nerdy Bird to see if that's going to help out the team. They're going to need some kind of spark right now because Champlain wasn't a roll, but they won control as Luxy's going to hop right in, immediately gets taken out. That is a 5-man ante, though, on the side of Boise State. Unfortunately, no punish from Champlain. They do get the immortality field cooldown baited out, though. Now you see Latillo sneaking up from the backside. Looking for a flank. You got Frosty now up on the high ground. Boise State bailed on it after that ante landed. So Luxy did get some value, but a great headshot from Narbles is going to put Frosty back into spawn. He can take down Latillo. This could be huge as Nerdy Bird is incredibly low. Boise State's going to be able to stabilize and win that first fight.
The thing about Java Chup's 5-man anti, very nice, but when you're already down your main tank, quote, okay.
Well,
Boise State.
Yeah, Boise State was not ready for that recontest from Luxy with the Primal Rage. As Mage gets taken out, he gets revived. I thought Boise State was sitting pretty, but Champlain just kind of baited him, and just like that, Champlain's gonna get the first point.
Luxy showed up, and then we lost.
Yeah. I did not expect Luxy to contest that quickly without Frosty available. But he sent it, and great play by Champlain. We'll see what Boise State has up their sleeve because Champlain's got 5 minutes on the clock now. Push to point number 2.
I would really like to watch a Luxy point of view of this game because I believe that Luxy is a very capable monkey and is doing a lot of great things for his team that I don't appreciate because I'm a Boise State fan, but that anybody who plays monkey could probably learn a great deal.
Champlain's sitting on 3 ultimates. Boise State just a pair, but they've got their 2 tank ults coming up in short order. Right now, Champlain just content. Line of sighting on the payload. There we go. Valkyrie and the Nano's going to go on to Luxy. Immortality field comes out. Latillo's the first one taken down, but Luxy gets the double kill. He has been a thorn in Boise State's side all night. Let's make it a triple for him. Or Icy stops that monkey from wreaking havoc. Trax gets the revive right in Quidgible's face. That is a feels bad moment there. Latillo immediately off the res picks up a triple. And that fight went from bad to worse for Boise State.
That is definitely a feels bad for Quidgible, though there's not necessarily a lot he could have done after he used Rock. Because I'm guaranteeing you, the reason Trax went for that res, I mean, other than the fact that it's on Luxy, who's currently carrying their team, the reason that Trax went for that res is because he watched Quidgible use Rock. And when you see Quidgible use his only stun on Sigma, you look at him and you res.
State gets the rally and the Dragon Strike to start the fight. The Gravitic Flux as well, but all it's going to get him is a 1-for-1 trade. Frosty throws down the ground. Nerdy Bird will be taken out. Pulse Ball takes down Frost as well. The Fortify is going to make Icy nearly unkillable, but as soon as it fades, he's got to be careful as he is running out of teammates in his area. He will get burnt down rather quickly, and that felt like a bit of a rushed recontest there for Boise State.
The Quidgible trade for Luxy was definitely worth it because Luxy is such a dominant force, but then Jagachup picked up the elimination onto Nerdy Bird, and then that fight was kind of over at that point. And especially now that both Nerdy Bird and Pleb have been like staggered going into this next fight, like the IC2. Yes, Boise State gets one good fight here if we hard reset now, which it looks like we're doing. But Boise State does still get one good fight here, but all we have is Supercharger as opposed to Nano, which has won fights for them on their monkey. So we really need to be prepared for Luxy to just int his brains out with the Nano.
Nano's going to come out onto Luxy. There's Supercharger down from Icy. Trax gets taken out, but Icy will fall in short order. Luxy's going to Primal Rage to heal back up to full life. Latillo gets a pair of eliminations. Frosty gets one, but Quidgible and Frost do not want to see this map end quite yet. They're able to do just enough to slow down Champlain. Frost just about 4 seconds off the cryo freeze, not able to get it, but Boise State should get one more chance at a contest.
We get a chance at a contest, and our biggest shot here is Frost with the Blizzard, and he's only 57 to it, so we really need to charge this very quickly. And honestly, now we need to deny the res. Trax vouched slowly for that res, and he got it.
Voice State to get Luxie down.
But he had to pick, and now that Luxie is down, I would not say that that was a worthwhile trade.
Duplicate from Latio actually onto the Lucio, immediately able to throw down a sound barrier for his team as Icy does get taken out. Voice State's able to stop the Duplicate from getting a second sound barrier though. Switchball's going to launch that Diva Bomb in. Does take down Frosty. The grab comes out from the grave, but a great Maywall there for Frost is going to cut out most of that incoming damage. And Boise State has set up quite the defensive hold here. Another huge res from Trax on to Frosty, but this time he'll be taken out as soon as the res goes through. Narbles does get taken out, but Boise State has sent just enough for Champlain to be forced to reset.
But Luxie came back and basically charged his Primal Rage. Here's what's going to happen next fight. Java Chup is going to nano Luxie. Luxie's going to go in, may or may not get a couple of kills, and then he's going to Primal after the nano ends, and he gets... we really need to eliminate Luxie, like now, before the fight begins, because otherwise he's just going to go on a rampage and do the same thing that he's been doing the whole map.
Frosty gets taken out. That's huge. Narble's looking for a backhand deep Deadeye there. Rez comes out onto Trax. There's the nano that you talked about. Deadeye in the back. Oh, gets it on to Frosty. Latio gets taken out. Fan the hammer on the Java Chup. Can't quite find the kill, though. Primal Rage Luxie is going ape on the other side, but he doesn't have a team to back him up, so it really doesn't matter. He's able to leap away. Can Boise State get the damage around the corner? No. And Narbles is going to respawn, and Boise State's held on once again.
They have a minute and 43 seconds, so they do have enough time to charge that whole thing again, but Boise State, I don't know if they meant to completely deny the Nano Monkey and then Primal, but they did, and we need to be able to do that again, possibly oh, he did swap.
Yeah, they swapped off. They're going to go on to the Ryan Baptiste. Oh, huge pick off the Valkyrie. No res available now. Ant Matrix goes down, but a pin lands onto Frost, and he'll be taken out. Duplicate from Latio going to go onto that McCree. Ice can find a shatter, and he's going to get it onto 4. No, nice Immortality Field does come out, but it's not enough to stop the damage for Boise State. And Trax gets just one elimination onto Icy, but that's all they get. Boise State's got a minute on the clock. They've got a sound barrier. They've got a Deadeye available. And Champlain sitting on Shatter and Grab.
Nice Shatter by Icy. Nice Immortality Field by Java Chup. Java Chup did an absolutely amazing job, and it cost Icy his life there. Icy would not have died if they had just wiped all 5, obviously. So good job by Java Chup there. But now Icy, the pressure is still on because Luxie has proven to be a very good Winston. And so I sincerely hope he's not a very good Reinhardt, but I'm going to assume that he is. So we really need to block his Shatter and get a huge Blizzard.
There's the grab that's going to come out. Sound barrier is going to be in response. Boise State will throw down the Blizzard and the Deadeye as well. Java Chup, the Immortality Field taken out. Frosty going to be taken out. Shatter committed by Luxie. If Boise State's looking for another elimination, can they find it? Ant Matrix has gone down from Java Chup. Boise State's traded out 2 for 1. Now they're going to lose Icy as well. Both teams down a tank. Latio will fall. Switchball looking for one more elimination on the Trax or Java Chups going into overtime here. Diva Bomb going to be used to just try and force them off the point. Great Maywall comes down and Java Chup punches death there by Narbles. Neck reset, but Dirty Bird will be taken out, but defender respawn means that Boise State should get them back closer into the fight. Pleb's Immortality Field gets burned through in short order. Meteor Strike, last ditch effort here for Champlain. Not gonna be able to find it. Trax gets the sound barrier now, and unfortunately Boise State, everything's coming off the rails in the final moments. They're gonna lose absolutely everybody. Dirty Bird trying to hold on to stall out. The Broncos hold for 3.5 minutes. Can't do it when it matters most, and Champlain's gonna be able to recap.
We did not have the follow-up for the Shatter there. I said it in the fight. We needed a Shatter. That's what we needed to win this. And they needed a Doomfist ult. They got the Doomfist ult. We didn't get the follow-up for the Shatter, and so they got that point. But honestly,
that's a pretty good hold.
OT's not that bad, especially considering we got clean wiped the rest of the map. You know, there is not a lot you can complain about after getting wiped the first 2 points, holding third into OT. Like, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Champlain unlocked third point with 5 minutes on the clock, and Boise State held for all 5 of those minutes. Unfortunately, in overtime is where things came off the rails, but Boise State has put themselves in a very good shot here to force overtime, have some time in the bank, and allow themselves to win this map. It is a winnable map here for Boise State. If they play like they played on that third point defense, you have to feel confident if you're a Bronco fan.
What I will say is the biggest problem that Boise State is going to face is Luxy on second point if he decides to go monkey. Because the amount of high ground, so Luxy is already a very dominant force, and even on third point, Hollywood, which monkey should not have worked for as long as it did. And it really did work for them, and good job on Luxy for like realizing it wasn't working as well as the rest, and so swapping off. But I think that is why they got that, because he wasn't getting the value on monkey anymore, and we're going to have to watch out for that second point. And the best solution to that is to just roll first point, and then stagger all throughout second point, go to first.
Be on the Reinhardt this time. Boise State not going to try and go on the high ground. 3-man stuns land from the TO, but nothing's going to come of it. Double main wall goes down, but nobody's caught on the wrong side. Pleb works the immortality field, and Icy's going to be the first one to lose his life. Quidgeable loses the mech. Boise State will get team killed, and that's not the way you want to start.
Luxy on the Reinhardt. Luxy just as a tank in general. That Shatter's been that Shatter's going to be absolutely instrumental. Icy needs to be prepared to block that because Icy is only 53, so he needs to be. If he doesn't block the Shatter, it's going to be because he wasn't expecting Luxy to have one yet, because that was a very fast charge on a Shatter. But we need to be prepared for it, and that's their winning condition.
Nice 3-man stun K about Shatter though. Looks like Boise State, as you said, D'Angelo, not quite ready for it. Lands on to 3. They'll lose 4, now 5, and Boise State will be forced to reset once again.
Blizzard is their next win condition, or an amplification matrix as Boise State is rotating. But I think Boise State is more prepared for an amplification matrix and to like avoid that, just because in general it's much easier to like line of sight an amplification matrix. But that's their next win condition, and our next win condition is either a huge Deadeye or a Shatter, likely a combination of the two.
Great main wall there as the matrix will go down on the point, and Narbles will immediately get eliminated. And Boise State will potentially wait for him, but they're going to be in a very compromised position. They're now split up. They'll throw down their own amp matrix to try and get high ground control for Champlain, and they will just simply line of sight that one. And Boise State can at least put a toe onto that parking space, start to unlock it. We're going to get the grabs coming out from Frosty. Blizzard for Mage will be used. Immortality Field for Plebs to keep Boise State alive. Quidgeable going to lose the mech. Be taken out in short order. And Boise State is still looking for their first elimination of this attack. And I don't think they're going to find it. Maywall used defensively. Narble's going to get picked off there. That Maywall's going to sandwich multiple members of Boise State in between it. Luxy does get frozen. Can Boise State get the elimination? No. Immortality Field used perfectly there, and now Boise State is simply running out of time.
We lost Narbles, and then there was no way to get out of that fight. But the good thing is now Boise State has charged a bunch of their ultimates. Now we need to avoid getting shattered a second time, and we need to avoid getting amplification matrixed on the way to the fight. And Java Chup only has one beat, so he can only beat the Blizzard or the Shatter. So we have a shot at taking this. It's just going to take a lot of ultimates.
That Maywall to start, not good for Frost. Goes above everybody. There's a Deadeye through an Amp Matrix, not able to find any value. Boise State sitting on 5 ult. 6 is going to be available in this fight. This might be a slam Q kind of opportunity. Blizzard comes out from Frost, but he's going to be immediately eliminated. Java Chup will commit the sound barrier, so now it's on Icy to land a huge Shatter. As Mage gets taken out. Shatter comes down first from Luxy, only lands on to 1. Nerdy will sound barrier. Quidgeable still cracked with the Diva Bomb, picks up 2. Fan the hammer onto Luxy, takes him out. Boise State holds on to the Shatter, and with 15 seconds left, much like Champlain, overtime makes Boise State stronger, and they'll get the payload with just seconds remaining.
I think Nerdy forgot that they had both Grav and Blizzard almost online. I'm going to choose to believe that that's why, because that's going to be our biggest problem second point. Because we still have Luxy on the Reinhardt, so it's still a brawl. There is no like superior high ground control necessarily through would be innate calm. But they have both Blizzard and the grab.
Marbles gets one onto Lucio. Quick was able to take down Java Chop. Unfortunately, Nerdy was eliminated early in that fight as well, so the sound barrier could not be charging. Does end up getting elimination, but Champlain will run through Boise State, and they still have that grab and Blizzard that you were warning the Broncos about available to them.
That's going to be really unfortunate because they're all, well, that is less unfortunate. Good job, Frost. If we lose this next fight, it's going to be because they use a huge ultimate, because we're already at such a massive advantage with their main tank being down. They have to reset until their main tank is back unless they want to go aggro and use one of their ultimates. So Boise State needs to be fully aware that they're walking into 4 ultimates.
Well, Grab and Blizzard are going to come out. Immortality Field is used by Pleb, but it will get destroyed. Nerdy and Icy will be run down, but the Broncos will keep trying to push the payload as much as they can. Small victories there. And they got 2 ults out of the way, but there's only 1:15 on the clock.
That was probably one of the best pushes we're going to get because we picked their main tank early and it was stopped with a grab. That's just really unfortunate. But the good thing is it cost them both grab and Blizzard. So now Luxy just has to land a much more avoidable and walkable Shatter.
State has their own Blizzard and an Ant Matrix. They're going to go right on top of Champlain. Trax is the first one taken out. Blizzard gets a freeze onto Mage. He will fall. Pleb will be eliminated, but Boise State's going to be able to pick up 3. A 2-man Shatter does land and combo with a Deadeye. Boise State will lose Nerdy, Icy, and Quidgeable out of the mech. Now that Baby D will be taken out. Luxy will fall, and it's just Java Chup alive on that Lucio. Boise State does get the punch down, and now the respawn's starting to come through. Free will get frozen, and Boise State set themselves up with a chance, but they're going to have to win in overtime.
This is the Frost and Narbles show. That was absolutely nice. The Shatter almost won them that fight. It got both Icy and Nerdy, which is not good. And then, but Frost and Narbles, great. Good job.
Boise State cannot lose this fight, and the playoff dream ends for the orange team right here. Deadeye is not going to find anything. And an Ant Matrix comes down. Maywall is used. Huge Shatter only going to land onto Mage. Immortality Field used, and the teams will trade 1-for-1, but Icy's been taken out. The Broncos out of main tank. They need a huge Diva Bomb here. They're not going to find it. Now Java Chup's going to throw down that sound barrier. Nerdy 8% away will be eliminated. And unfortunately for Boise State, that is probably going to be the end of it. We're going to try and stall out as long as possible. Frost is extremely close to the Blizzard. If he can get it out, he can.
But no follow-up.
Nobody's on the point, and Champlain will pick up the map and the victory. And unfortunately for Boise State, they even had they held on third point, it would not have mattered. Quidgeable picks up play of the game. Yet again, another excellent Diva Bomb, but unfortunately the Broncos just took too long to crack this first point defense for Champlain, and they just never had enough time on the clock after that.
I said it in the beginning. If they were going to get stopped, it was going to be on second point. It wasn't. They weren't stopped for the reasons I thought that they were going to be stopped. They were stopped for, I mean, broadly, ultimate misusage. So the best push that we were going to get is the pick on the Luxy. Luxy is not a player that is very often the first one to die. So when Frost got that pick on the Luxy, that was single-handedly, that was going to be the best push we were going to get.
Yep.
But because we used sound barrier 2 fights before and they still had both grab and Blizzard, that fight was useless because they just blizzarded on Icy and Nerdy, and so we lost our main tank and off support. And like I said, that was going to be the best fight we were going to get. You're not often going to catch a good main tank player like Luxy out of his element, but we did once. But because of the misuse of the barrier, we couldn't capitalize on that. And we also didn't get any better fights. Like, we didn't get any value out of our other ultimates to make it better.
And you see the standings here. We mentioned Boise State Blue and Midland coming up after this one. The blue team squarely in the playoffs, so is Midland. Boise State, Orange, and Champlain were fighting for that last spot. Both teams will end up with an overall record of 2-7, but I've been told that the map score that we've been preaching this entire time, why NECC chooses to play all 3 maps and not just a best-of-3 format, will eventually end up allowing Champlain to advance. I don't think this third map even matters, unfortunately, for Boise State, as Champlain had the better map score going into this fight, or into this match. So, unfortunately for Boise State, they'll come oh so close. I mean, we saw what this team could do, D'Angelo, with their upset. I mean, there were only Boise State has taken down UC Santa Cruz. The blue and the orange team are their only 2 losses. Unfortunately, at the same time, they weren't able to take down the teams below them, and that's why they're going to be sitting here with a 2-7 record and out of the playoffs.
It was kind of disappointing because watching Orange team play, they weren't necessarily playing at their best because ultimately we lost. Because, I mean, so people were getting picked before fights quite a lot because we weren't necessarily ready, but also there were very few good ultimates throughout that entire 2-map series. And Overwatch is very much a game where the ultimate usage matter. I mean, like we saw, a Grav single-handedly stopped our push second point. They were down their main tank by all rights and purposes, like we should have won that fight. And then also, I hate to say it, but I think there was a little bit of a main tank difference, and that's not necessarily a knock on Icy, but their Reinhardt was just very good. Luxie was just very good and was terrorizing absolutely everybody. And so the main tank difference definitely did not help either.
Yeah, I mean, Luxie was absolutely insane, especially on that Winston and then on that Reinhardt as well. So unfortunately for Boise State, their orange team's journey will come to an end here against Champlain. We do have a third map left. See if we do play it. As you mentioned, Champlain will advance on overall map score regardless of what happens here. But, I mean, this is an orange team where you look and you know, you can either take the negative or you can take the positive. I mean, this team beat the third-place team in UC Santa Cruz. This is a team that, when they're firing on all cylinders, is capable of competing with the best of the best. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to get it done here against Champlain. They came oh so close on control. And, unfortunately, on Hollywood, they just didn't come alive until third point, and that kind of doomed them because offensively they just could never get anything done.
So while it is really amazing that they were able to beat the third-place team, somebody that was massively overplaced of them, that was a great upset. We were all amazing. It was amazing to end the night on that. We were all very proud because even they didn't think they were going to win that. But that, to me, just makes it almost worse fish that they don't win these games that
I guess Hello and welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Still chugging along with our NECC showdowns. Boise State Orange and Champlain getting ready to go on map number 3, and then we'll still have Boise State Blue taking on Midland in our final showdown of the night here. Right now, Boise State Orange, unfortunately, D'Angelo, their season has come to an end. They lost the first 2 maps against Champlain. It was a win or go home scenario as Champlain was 4 better in the overall map score coming into the night. So does not matter what happens on map number 3, but it will be a learning experience for Boise State. Hopefully they're able to turn some things around, because Hollywood was not a good map for the Boise State Orange team. And what we saw, especially from some of the players, just unfortunately just never able to match Luxie in that main tank position.
First map definitely went better than Hollywood.
Yes. Yes.
Focus on the positives.
Busan was a positive, still a 2-0, but Boise State, a couple of just minor mistakes away from at least maybe getting to a map 3 or winning both those. Hollywood, they had an epic stand on third-point defense. Unfortunately, they let them cap in overtime, and it really didn't even matter in the long run because Boise State couldn't even get to checkpoint number 2. But we'll go to Rialto for our final map. Last chance here in the NECC for Boise State Orange to at least end things on a positive note. It is Boise State Orange. It's Champlain here in our NECC match. A showdown for who's going to the playoffs. And Champlain has locked up that playoff spot. But we'll see what Boise State Orange can do. Hey, even though the game didn't go the way you wanted, D'Angelo, if you can end on a victory, maybe you can at least have some ice cream at the end of the night. No sprinkles. Those are for winners. But you can have some ice cream if you win map number 3.
Are you limiting my sprinkle consumption, Fish?
I'm just saying, if you're not a winner, you don't get sprinkles. It's just, I don't make the rules.
I'm not a winner
rules, I don't
or
make
a loser. I am a caster.
I don't. Them the rules. I didn't make them. I'm just telling
Casters
you.
get sprinkles?
So, I mean, I think Boise State, if they can come out here with a final performance that's,
Yes.
maybe if we see some better Reinhardt play, I think it hurts you to admit it. But, I think that's, you and I kind of talked about it. That might
Icy needs to reclaim his honor a little bit.
Yeah.
He needs to have that Avatar Zuko journey to reclaim his honor.
Yeah, if he could get like a 6-man shatter and just everything's right in the world, it'd be a great way to end the season, because unfortunately, Luxie's stunting on him a little bit here. That's no real insult to Icy, though.
Luxie was stunting on everybody.
Yeah, Luxie's like next level. Listen, like I said, no insult to Icy. It's like it's main tank diff, but it's not because your main tank's struggling. It's because their main tank is just really crap.
Really good.
He's just like, he's goated on the sticks. The man is insane. So watch out for Luxie. You see there, he's giving a thumbs up, and for good reason. He's feeling confident.
He's
got Champlain into the playoffs. And Rialto's the final chance here for Boise State Orange to end things on a strong point. Have some good things going into next semester for this Boise State team. But unfortunately, their playoff chances did come to an end here. But hey, you can always end on a strong note, and that's exactly what we're hoping for here for Boise State Orange.
Everybody loves a redemption arc. Everybody loves a redemption arc, Fish.
Exactly. You come back strong. Maybe, in the fall semester, you get your redemption against Champlain. You can at least maybe send them home on a loss. That would be something to look forward to as we get ready to hop into map number 3. We get Doc's keys to the game. Never take a fair fight. Machines takes fight in unexpected places when they are unprepared and when you can have ability advantages. Doc's Keys brought to you by Count, who's an Antitrust Global Network, delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables a personalized customer experience for more than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. If you want to stay safe online, go check out Count at KOUNT.com. And what are you looking forward here to on Rialto for our final map for the Orange team here tonight, D'Angelo?
Oh, you mean other than the redemption arc?
Yeah, besides the we're really pushing the redemption arc. It could fall flat in our face. It could just blow up on us, and Luxie could get like a 6K knockoff. So I mean, what else are we looking for besides the redemption arc?
Honestly, okay, I think Luxie is probably going to run Monkey on Rialta because it's a much more monkey-friendly point than first point Hollywood. And I mean, the Reinhardt carried on to second point Hollywood just because they kind of had to get like right back in the fight after Boise State took the first point, and then Champlain pushed it back into their spawn. But I think we will see some Monkey. But the benefit to that, Java Chup and Luxie are doing a very formulaic dance as Monkey and Ana. It's very predictable. It's very like, so Ana sends him in with Nano. He's like, he doesn't have Primal yet, but he gets Primal through the course of the Nano, and then like Primal's on like 10 HP. And then his Primal mechanics are kind of nuts other than just him surviving, and he's probably already killed 2 members of the Boise State team through the time of being nanoed, and obviously everybody shoots the monkey that's in the team, right? But if you can't kill the monkey and he can kill 2 people, that fight is lost. But he does the same thing every fight. Him and Java Chup do the same thing every time they're able to charge their ultimates, which realistically they've been doing like every other fight, maybe every like 3 fights, but it's very formulaic and they've been doing the same thing. And Boise State Orange was able to predict and fight against that. We stuck a Deadeye in their back line so that nobody could support the Winston. So I'm not sure if that's the best way to counter it, but it worked. And so we're going to need to continue to count that. Oh, look.
Well, there's the Winston. We'll note for Champlain that they have put Roy in, subbing out Latio, who also had some excellent Echo play. And Roy's getting the first elimination right on cue. Take down Nerdy Bird. Frost, though, takes down Luxie, but unfortunately will lose his life in the process. But Quidgible's going to be able to take down Mage. So there's a 2-for-2 exchange. Quidgible will stop the res on the Java Chup. So Quidgible here with a nice little early performance on Rialto.
It's worth it if you can trade for Luxie. Hashtag worth.
Now you just got to do that like 6 more times.
Oh, look, and Luxie's back on the Rhine. Reinhardt, Zarya. So Champlain, even though they have 2 hit scan on their DPS and we have Mei, they do have the better brawl comp because of that Zarya.
Yeah, Matrix going to go down here from Pleb off screen. His Immortality Field will be taken out. In the line of sight here from Champlain, and they're going to be able to burn down Narbles as soon as he takes down Latio. Actually, Latio has moved over to the tank role. He has not been the one that has been subbed out, as Luxie will now get burned down on that Reinhardt. Without 2 tanks, Champlain's probably going to have to do a minor reset here.
I mean, really, once you lose your Reinhardt, the fight is basically over. So, I mean, other than Luxie just being a great player, eliminate Luxie and you win, also just because of the nature of his role. However, they do have Bob, so we really need to get our Blizzard or our Shatter charged quickly. Because currently, they're saying, well, you can't charge Blizzard if you're dead.
There's the Nano. This time it's going to go on to Mage, actually. Who has the Bob available. There is the Deadeye that's going to come out. Not able to find anything. Nerdy's able to take down Latio. Shatter comes out from Luxie only on to Quidgible. Bob, though, is going to wrap things up. He'll get a pair of eliminations. Icy will now go down. And Boise State is in a very compromised position. Narbles and Pleb trying to get back to the point. They'll just both take a hammer to the face.
I did say that Bob was going to be their big ultimate, and I did say that Blizzard was going to be ours. And considering they got their Bob off, but our Blizzard got eliminated, sad days. We do get a touch if we can use the Blizzard, if there's enough follow-up for the Blizzard. Because
the Blizzard is going to go into a grab from Latio, though. Deadeye from Narbles, they'll take down Luxie. Frost has been taken out. Nerdy was as well, but has respawned and is rushing back. Icy has that Shatter. Could use a huge one here. Double stun comes out. One on a Roy, one on a Java Chup. Shatter was able to land, but unfortunately no elimination. And now Pleb gets taken out. Frost on that Sombra. Guns down Roy in the back. No idea he was there while he was trying to ult. And that might be enough. Boise State did drop the sound barrier in that fight. But a great flank there from Frost allows Boise State to hold just right in front of that first spot.
Honestly, we shouldn't have won that after the grab came out, but I'm super glad we did. You know, you cannot complain. Icy was able to stay alive, and while there was no follow-up for the Shatter, staying alive as a main tank, sometimes it's enough.
Fortunately for Boise State, they're not going to have a single ult. There's the Nano from Frost. He's going to go on to Luck, and he's got the Shatter available. Frost is going to need a great path. Unfortunately, lands on to Frosty. There is the sound barrier from Java Chuck, and Boise State corpses will litter the battlefield. As they're going to lose 5. Narvel's trying to hide. You can't hide there. And that will be a quick work of them for Champlain, and they'll keep pushing along.
I mean, honestly, did we expect anything different than a NaNoRyan on the point with the inability to run away?
No.
Because normally you can, like, speed away with a Lucio from a NaNoRyan, but when you have to contest the point, you can't run away as well.
Yeah, Frost now on that Ana. Java up to go for the Lucio, and even with a different Ana, the Nano's still landing on the Luxie, just as we've seen all night for Champlain. Luxie is incredibly low, but a grab's going to come out.
What?
Huge double deep bomb there from Quinton. The Dragons will rip through from Mage, and he'll pick up 2. After the Immortality Shield falls, Roy's going to get 1 more. Roy now will be taken out. Both teams down 3 members. Trying to get right in the face of Mage. Quinton needs 1 more shot, not able to find it. Java Chuck will come up for the flank, can't find the boop though. Nerdy at 40 HP, he's got to be careful. Close to the sound barrier. Oh, Frost close to that EMP as Lucio's going to get hacked now on the Diva. Next immediately eliminated. Frost has that EMP. Is he going to be able to use it here? No, he is not, as the Nano is going to go on to Java Chuck. First bad Nano we've seen all night.
That was a very long, involved fight that Quidgible parried. Good job, Quidgible. Quidgible with that bomb made up for the fact that Nerdy Bird did not have beat for the Grab Dragons, and that it should not have saved it for them. But it did, and so I'm happy.
Boise State's going to get a double with the Deadeye. I don't know if that was the sound barrier we were looking for. There was no ult up on the side of Champlain, and now Boise State is going to be defenseless heading into Shatter Deadeye.
Sound barrier, huh?
Well, we got an EMP, and we know Frost has a history landing big EMP. Speaking of that, he's right behind the team.
Very true. We
Hit
just
Q.
need to follow up on it.
There it is. There's the 4-man EMP. Boise State has to
But
follow.
not on
They
the beat.
missed Java Chuck, so he's going to get a 3-man sound barrier down.
Once he's
Luxie
dead, we
gets
win.
taken out before the sound barrier can land. Mage is going to take down Nerdy. Both Immortality Fields will fall. Mage trying to claim him away from Quidgible. He ain't having none of that. Deadeye is coming out. Boise State will simply line of sight it. Java Chuck does take down Icy though, but 25 seconds left on the clock, and Boise State sitting in a good spot here. Potentially hold. Huge shatter does come out from Luxie. Blood's going to fall before it can drop the end. Major Quidgible is able to remech. Not much more as Frost and Nerdy both going to be taken out. There's Deadeye available for Narvel to take a miracle. And Champlain's going to be able to push, and Boise State should get 1 fight to stop this from continuing on.
They should get 1 fight to stop this for continuing on. It's just a matter of whether or not they will touch the cart or not. Honestly, they would just be feeding Champlain more ult charge at this point if they just touched it, and they don't necessarily, unless they get picks right now, they don't necessarily have a good shot at winning this fight. Now they definitely don't.
Yeah, they're just gonna, they went for the touch. They're gonna lose all 6 members here. Call it a team kill for Champlain. They get a 1.5-minute time extension.
Well, that's a Boise State team wipe, but not in the way that we are looking
we were
for
hoping for.
there. That's a very happy graphic for a very sad time.
Doc looked pretty serious, I'll be honest.
The good silver lining, we did take them to OT, so now they only have 1 minute and 9 seconds.
Deadeye from Roy is going to come out. Great Maywall blocks it off for the most part. Like usual, he's not able to find any value. Narbles will try the same thing, and everyone will line of sight, and we'll see 2 Qs go up and immediately go into range.
Yo, there it is, the redemption art.
Quick though, on the Luxie, Diva Bomb from Latio, they've got to be careful. They're able to take down Mage. And no one dies to the Diva Bomb. Health bar is incredibly low for Boise State, especially for Narbles and Icy. They should be able to be kept alive. Mage Wall just barely misses. Java Chuck is trying to skate away. He'll make it. But Champlain's going to have 1 last fight, and they're going to have Shattered Dragons, and Boise State might have a sound barrier.
All right, so we saw the beginning of the Reinhardt redemption arc there with Icy. Here's part 2. Icy needs to block this Shatter.
He lands 2 Shatter of his own. That would also do wonders. He's going to land
Like
it.
that.
3-man Shatter, but it's a 5-man from Luxie. Boise
But we
State's
killed
in
their
5.
main healer.
There's a Quidgible Diva Bomb onto Frosty. Not quite the redemption arc we wanted, but Boise State will take it. Time will tick down. No one from Champlain will be on the point. Luxie wins the Shatter battle, but Boise State wins the war. The Broncos have themselves set up for a chance to avoid the 3-0 sweep.
Icy's Shatter was on paper worse than Luxie's, but Quidgible comboed with that bomb, and they play together so often. I have to believe that combo was planned.
Yep.
The bomb Shatter combo. So I mean, Icy wasn't ever looking for a solo Shatter. He was looking for the combo with the bomb, and so good job, Icy Quidgible there. Quidgible continuing with the huge bombs. They got that kill onto their main healer, and then that fight was honestly as good as ours. The kill onto Java Chub on Lucio definitely helped, because then Luxie had no support whatsoever, 5-man Shatter or otherwise. And Shatter is very much an ultimate like EMP, where you have to have follow-up.
Yep.
So it doesn't really matter if you shatter 5 people if you're still the one that loses the fight to a Diva Bomb. I will say their Baptiste tried very hard. He did put down the immortality field before he was shattered, but it was not enough to save his life, which is great because that was enough for Boise State to prevent them from full capping.
Boise State, I mean, their work's still cut out for them. That payload is very far down. It is not going to be just a quick win here, but it did put Boise State in a winnable position on Rialto to avoid the 3-0 sweep. See what these teams have planned for their final map of the regular season. In the NECC, huge 3-man stun there from Narble. No pun intended. Just going to boot Dirty off the edge. State, they will take down Frost with Immortality Field. Clouds had to be burned out as well, though, but now Icy and Frost will go down. Narble's trying to keep the team alive, gets one onto Roy. Trying to deal with that shield. Unfortunately, that's going to be a reset there for Boise State.
We saw Java Chop win the Lucio 1v1 with that boop off of the map, which is the ultimate Lucio dishonor. We saw a little bit of a hiccup in the redemption arc there with Luxie's eliminate.
Oh, they didn't even see it coming. Double shatter lands from Luxie. Both supports already dead for Boise State. Do we have a tank? Well, Quidgible out of the Diva form. Narble's going to get punched down. Latio will lose his life, but that was an excellent display of Sneak 100 from the side of Champlain.
Latio was the prize, but we have a significant shatter. That was absolutely amazing. Nobody was prepared to block that, and there was never even a chance for Icy to block that. That was bad.
That was just a great little sneaky play there from Luxie and the rest of Champlain College. Boise State does have a Blizzard coming up in short order. They also have the Ant Matrix available as well. Narble's going to get a great pick. Odds and Mage. Deadeye's available as well. Ant Matrix is going to come down for Frosty. Level answer with his own. Boise State's going to lose both their DPS. Geo is going to be taken out as well. Roy will pop the Deadeye. Oh, the pin. Quidgible is going to get taken all the way to the back.
Bye.
Don't think he ended up getting stunned, though. It went a little bit too long. And then Icy's going to say, oh, hey, how are you doing there, Luxie? I'll pin you to the wall. Narble's able to help clean up. So despite Frost and Narble being taken out early, Boise State's able to keep the payload pushing.
I will say, Narbles is being an amazing bright spot for Boise State right now.
Yep.
Narbles is not losing the McCree 1v1. He's not losing the 1v1 to Mage, and he's definitely doing absolutely all that he can. And it's been great to watch because...
Elimination there on the Frosty from Frost. Showing who is the better Frozen name.
Who is the superior Elsa, the superior Ice Queen? Who owns that title? Or Ice King, I suppose.
Frost did have the advantage of being on May. I'm sure that, you know.
This is true. This
has
is true.
to increase his damage a little bit. Unfortunately for Boise State, they forgot about the payload. Oh, the Deadeye. It looks so pretty, but it's all behind a Reinhardt shield. They're not going to fight anything. Grab comes out from Latio. Blizzard's going to be dropped as well. Boise State will just be run through, but hey! Quidgible's pushing the payload, so at least they're getting value.
Soundbarrier are starting to feel a little bit like Deadeye, but not because of the nature of the ultimate is bad, but because we rarely see it used with success, Fish. That time, Java Chub actually had the ability to Soundbarrier part of that crowd. He didn't, but he also didn't need to. They didn't lose any members of their team. So actually, JavaTrap did a nice job. But we still have 10 away, and they've already grabbed. So I guess we use the next one offensively. Or because we also don't need to wait for Blizzard either. So I think we try to sound barrier the inevitably probably huge Luxie Shatter.
Thompson starts to switch. Oh, the Shatter wasn't able to complete the animation. There's your redemption arc for Icy. Matio's going to get frozen. Frosty and JavaChep will go down. It only took Boise State and Deep Bomb and an Ant Matrix. They're going to keep pushing along, and they might be able to put themselves in one last fight here for second point, depending on how fast they can push the payload.
Icy's redemption arc is alive and well. Good job there. I will say Narbles is McCree diffing Roy pretty hard while we're talking about who's diffing who.
Nice fake wall there. Blizzard's going to go down off a three-man stun from Narbles. Both sound barriers will be committed, but Boise State's going to lose 2 members before the sound barrier can land from Nerdy. Shields have fallen from both sides. Icy will be taken out. Got a little too aggro there charging in. JavaChep will be eliminated by Frost. That's unfortunately all he is going to get as Champlain will make short work of Boise State there.
JavaChep was the price, but he landed the better sound barrier, and so his team lived.
Unfortunately, Boise State sound barrier 2 members too late. Pleb and Narbles were both eliminated, but now we get our Rhine v. Rhine Shatter War. The only problem for Boise State and Icy is Luxie's going to have the backup of a Grav. Icy's not going to have a whole lot behind him besides that Shatters and Deadeye from Roy is going to come out through the Ant Matrix. Looks like Boise State's just going to drop an Immortality field. They've got to be incredibly careful now. Deadeye from Narbles. Oh! For a brief moment, had 2 skulls on the screen, wasn't able to find it. Now the teams are very split up. Daywall's going to come down for both sides. Nerdy's the first elimination. Frost is next. Luxie's Shatter is going to be used. Not able to find much value. Quidjable will just jump in the water.
Goodbye, Quidjable.
And Boise State's got one last fight.
We've got one last fight, but we do have Blizzard and Shatter for their fight, but they have Blizzard and Grav. Neither Lucio is close to beat. So there is no defense. It's purely who can attack better. We can see a Hail Mary of a Quidjable bomb, though. Got to look on the positives.
Or, you know, I mean, Quidjable could eat the Grav and the Blizzard as well. We've seen him do it in the past. Would rank up there in terms of Hail Marys here for Boise State. Final fight here potentially for the Broncos. Club's first eliminated. Grab's going to come out. But a triple from Quidjable might be enough. Boise State still going to lose 3 members. Mage's the only one left alive. He's on the wrong side of the mail wall. Boise State's going to cap the point. They're going to put a minute and a half on the clock with a chance to win this one.
Quidjable popping off when we need him most. He might get player of the game 2 nights in a row. I honestly think he deserves it. That was very nice. And then we had Frost win the May v. May when May was the only one contesting. So good on Frost there.
Problem for Boise State is they have no ultimates available. And besides Deadeye, and Roy Deadeye down Narbles, they're not close to really any. Quidjable's going to take down Mage. Teams trading back and forth. Nerdy will be eliminated as well. And unfortunately, that's going to mean JavaChep's going to have a sound barrier in this final fight. And Nerdy, outside of a miracle, will not have a sound barrier most likely available for the last fight of the match.
We've seen a little bit of a redemption arc on the Rhine diff that was going on. But we're also seeing a pretty heavy Lucio diff as well here. And we're also seeing, on the side of Boise State, we're also seeing McCree win the McCree diff very dominantly, besides that one time just last fight where he got dead-eyed. So
well, here we go for Boise State. Last chance here. Deadeye is going to come out from Narbles. He's already dropping incredibly low, able to find one onto Maze, though. Sound barrier from JavaChep will come out onto all 4 members of Champlain. Blizzard, though, will be used from Frost. The shields have been eaten through. Immortality field comes down. They're able to take down Latio and Luxie. Double Diva bomb for Quidjable. The man can't be stopped. And Boise State might be able to pick this one up. Mage is the last one alive. The Broncos need a body block here, but I don't think anyone's going to get there in time. Mage gets punched down. And Boise State Orange at least ends the season on a victory. They'll take down Champlain, but unfortunately lose the overall series in the NECC 2-1.
Listen, Fish, we focus on the victories.
I'm just reading the screen in front of me.
I will absolutely. I will
Put this on
say,
me.
Quidgible probably deserves player of the game.
Oh,
there,
100%.
Because we wouldn't have even gotten that far if Quidgible did not get those Hail Mary bombs. I will say, Quidgible and Narbles were definitely. Narbles won the 1v1 against the McCree almost every time he went up. Good job, Narbles. Amazing. Icy got better against Luxy, which I mean is really all you can ask against somebody as stupidly good as Luxy was. Nerdy got the ultimate dishonor of the boop off the map as Lucio, and then that trend continued. But I will say, Narbles and Quidgible.
Yeah, Quidgible, I mean, there is no...
Quidgible got the Hail Mary.
Yeah, there is no doubt about it.
Narbles was more consistent.
Quidgible is your ICCU player of the game. He has to be.
Quidgible deserves the hammer. We didn't win. I brought the hammer for us to win, but we did win last map. And it goes to Narbles, I suppose. He was the more consistent in actively DPS diffing them. So I see it. I acknowledge it. Great job, Narbles.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. Narbles or Quidgible probably right up there. I mean, Narbles, as you said, was the more consistent. Quidgible had the big flashy play at the end. 2 multi-man Diva bombs in a row to allow Boise State to pick up the last map. The night won't go as they want, but Narbles will be your ICCU player of the game. Idaho Central Credit Union, who's a great player, makes a team more successful. It's like they're helping their members achieve financial success, and Narbles is your ICCU player of the game for Boise State Orange's matchup against Champlain. They win the last map, so we'll end it on that, D'Angelo. And your final thoughts before we get to our anticipated Boise State Blue and Midland final map.
Not quite the Zuko level redemption arc that we were looking for.
No, it was like a Zula level redemption arc there.
I don't know that it was quite that bad. I think Zula's a little something else in her own level.
It's like the Toph redemption arc.
Yes, the Toph redemption arc. That's exactly what it was.
You won, but you still can't go home, Toph. I'm sorry.
Yes. But a win's a win.
Yes. And
Boise State is a learning team, which means our players are learning players. Icy definitely played much better that third map than the second map. I think he realized just like the Reinhardt foe he was dealing with and played more cautiously and thought more about all of the plays that he was going to make because he did not get as hard main tank difference as he did on Hollywood. And I mean, again, like I mentioned before, that's really all you can ask for when you're going up against a Reinhardt and just a main tank as capable as Luxy.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great performance by Boise State Orange on the third map. Would have wished they would have had that on the first 2, but unfortunately their season will come to an end. We will take a quick break, and by the time we come back, hopefully I can see the screen, and we'll be able to check out Boise State Blue take it on Midland in a #better showdown, and it's all coming up right after this break.
Everybody loves a redemption arc, Fish.
Exactly. I mean, you come back strong. Maybe, in the fall semester, you get your redemption against Champlain. Elimination, and now Buck is taken out. Frost on that Sombra. Guns down Roy in the back. No idea he was there while he was trying to ult. Frosty gets taken out. That's huge. Narbles looking for a backhand deep Deadeye there. Rez comes out onto tracks. There's the nano that you talked about. Deadeye in the back. Oh, takes it on to Frosty. Latio gets taken out. Fan the Mage gets taken out. Shatter comes down first from Luxy. Only lands on to 1. Nerdy will sound barrier. Quidgible still cracked with the Diva Bomb. Picks up 2. Fan the hammer onto Luxy. Takes him out. Boise State holds on to the Shatter. And with 15 seconds left, much like Champlain, overtime makes Boise State stronger, and they'll get the payload with just seconds remaining. Taken out. Tate from Latio going to go on to that McCree. Ice can find a Shatter, and he's going to get it on to 4. No, nice Immortality Field does come out, but it's not enough to stop the damage for Boise State. State. Final fight here potentially for the Broncos. Clever's
That's
first
bad.
eliminating. Grab's going to come out. But
There's
a triple
there it is.
from Quintuple might be enough. Boise State's still going to lose 3 members. Mage's the only one left alive. He's on the wrong side of the mail wall. Boise State's going to cap the point. Welcome back into the Boise State Game Pads Esports Arena. We'll wrap it up tonight's action with a grudge match. It's Boise State Blue. It's Midland. Unlike our last match, both these teams have successfully made the playoffs. Boise State once again leading the way. Midland, a little bit shockingly there, sitting in the middle of the pack with a 4-4 record. But we know that sometimes it doesn't matter who wins in the regular season. It matters who wins the games that matter, D'Angelo. So we'll see if Boise State can put one last beat down on Midland before the playoffs begin here. And, I mean, you mentioned it. We're going to see Goblin's Reaper tonight. He was inspired by one of the best on the ladder, and we'll see if Midland's ready for it and if they have an answer.
It's looking like Boise State Blue is just set up to be #better.
Remember,
I had to do it, Finn.
Remember,
I
last
just
semester,
had to.
Boise State 2-0'd Midland in the regular season. #better wasn't born until the playoffs. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish.
Fish.
The
Torphammer doesn't care about what happened last semester. The Torphammer cares about what's going to happen
You're still the
now,
champ till
and what's
somebody-
going to happen now is a sweep.
But we will see. You see the standings there. Boise State Blue 8-0. They have only dropped one map all season in the NECC, and they're taking on Midland, who, as we mentioned, they're last year's champs, and now they're sitting at a 4-4 record. They will make the playoffs, though, regardless of what happens, but it would be shocking to see Midland go from champs to 4-5. So I know they want to flip that trend, but Boise State Blue would love nothing more to go 9-0 and let everybody else in the Gladiators division know that Boise State will not have a performance like they had in last year's playoffs. And we'll see what happens here. We're going to do the same 3 maps we saw, Busan, Hollywood, and Rialto in our previous match. And what are your expectations as we head on to Busan, D'Angelo?
I expect Boise State to sweep. I don't know. I want nothing more than good things for the Boise State Blue team, especially after what happened last map. I think Boise State is I also just think that because of how they've played in the past against Midland, I do actually think, like, more than just being a super fan of Boise State, I do actually think that they have the skills and abilities to win this map.
Yep.
And I also, something I have been told through a personal interview with Goblin, is he has transcended on Reaper. He was
the character we've never seen him on.
He watched my Crazy Cat for 2 maps and has transcended from good Reaper to demigod tier
we've never
Reaper.
even seen him on the Reaper. We don't even know what he transcended from.
Listen, Fish, it's like that meme where there's the levels of transcendence and you start really small brain.
Yes.
No, he's just one with the universe. So I fully expect his Reaper to completely wipe the floor with all that would oppose him. And I would love nothing more than that for Goblin. I just want to see him succeed, because It's so hilarious, and we poke fun at him all the time when we cast because he ints his brains out, and he knows he does this, and he's either going to kill the whole team or he's going to just die.
Yeah.
I want tonight to be a night where he just kills the whole team.
I'm 99% sure the Doc's keys to the game of never take a fair fight are just to make Goblin feel good because he's never taking a fair fight. I feel like that is
it's never fair to
why
them or
Doc's
himself.
keys. It's like, Doc's keys, well, we know Goblin's going to flank, so let's just put that in there so it makes it look like he's making the right play. I mean, as you mentioned, 99% of the time, he'll make the right play, but about 1% of the time, it'll be a dead Torbjorn Reaper in the kill feed, and we'll be like, you tried.
We don't talk about those.
No, we only talk about the
We
successes.
only talk about we have a graphic for the team kills, Fish. We don't have a graphic for when Boise State people get eliminated. We only have a graphic for the team kills.
Well, we will see here. It's Boise State and Midland. It's teams that know each other well. Midland got the laugh, but Boise State has been the more dominant. Midland has not beaten them in the regular season, and we'll see if that trend continues. Guac, Kel, Goblet, Plato, a large bagel at Asu, all ready to go in our final regular season match of the NECC. As I said, both teams are locked into the playoffs, but a Midland loss and a Johnson & Wales win could make Midland's journey just a bit more challenging. So we'll have to see Midland trying to finish with a 5-4 record. And as we get ready to go on Busan, we'll see if they're ready for Goblin's Reaper or if he'll hold off for just a little bit and maybe bring out something like, the FAR or something other like that. As we see Doc's keys to the game, we just talked about it. Never take a fair fight. What does that mean? Take fights in unexpected places. Goblin flanking on a Torbjorn or a Reaper. When they're unprepared, Goblin flanking on a Torbjorn or Reaper. And when you can have the ability advantages, usually because Goblin has his ult available. It's all brought to you by Count, whose Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud protection as well as account protection and enables a personalized customer experience for more than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. If you want to stay safe online and you don't want to have unexpected fights taken on your credit card, go check them out at count.com, Count.com. And I will ask you this final question before we get into D'Angelo. Will we see Reaper in map 1 for Goblin?
I hope. I'm so excited to see the Reaper play because I have the hammer for the Torb play, so that would also be glorious.
There it
but
is.
Really, there it is. There's the Reaper, but also because we saw a monkey dominate Boise State Orange so much, I would love to see a monkey just fall flat on his face because we have a Reaper.
We will see what's going to happen here for Midland. There is that Reaper. Sky is taken very low. Goblin willing to be put to sleep. Now going to be burned down. Plato's going to get the first elimination onto Sky. Noro will fall flat on his face as well, so your risk might be granted to start things off. And Boise State already up 2. Silo incredibly low. Hey, let's make it up 3. How about 4 as Executing gets taken down, and Boise State should get the points to start things out.
That was a perfect fight on the side of Boise State. We did not lose anybody, but we full team wiped them. Sky did sleep Goblins. There was that. Goblin was going for the tricky flank and did get slept, so Sky made an effort. But other than that, that was the only good thing that came out of that fight for Midland University because they're not even very close to their ultimates.
And then they even got the Chatter moved off the edge there at the very end by a large bagel. You see there an engage from Midland. Noro's going to put out some damage. Asu has the Ant Matrix. Going to sit on it for now. Andy is going to land on the Goblin. Chatter incredibly low. Large bagel almost goes down. Great immortality field from Ace. He's going to bail him out. Ant Matrix goes down, and Noro's the first elimination. What though picks up a pair. Maywall's going to try and cut him off. He pops that Dragon Strike, and now Boise State's got to be careful. He gets eliminated before he gets another one, though. Executing will go down as well. Kell's going to use Deep Bomb just for a mech reset there. And Boise State comes close. They will take down what Pulse Bomb does get blocked, though. Chatter's not going to throw out his own Diva Bomb. Nice crowd freeze there from Plato to keep him alive. Blizzard is going to come down as another immortality field is used. There's the Nano. The Chatter looks like, and there's a boop off the edge for a large bagel. He's 2 for 2 on that, and Boise State, they sustain more casualties this time. They're going to come out victorious here in the end of the fight, you have to think.
And honestly, so many ultimates were used by both sides that it's definitely amazing that we managed to do that. And a large bagel is stunting on their Lucio right now. He got the ultimate dishonor of booping the enemy Lucio off the edge, so that's a feels bad for Executing. He's also got his sound barrier sooner.
Speaking of feels bad, that is a great whiff on the Shatter Squad. Not what you want to see you there for Boise State, but Midland's already in last fight territory, and what's going to be taken out? So the 5v6 in the final fight. North's going to go in. Primal Rage back up to full. He's trying to get a boop off the edge onto Asu, and he's going to be able to take him out. Goblin has the Death Blossom, just waiting to use it. Will raise form, pop it immediately. Sky and Chatter both get taken out. Nora will fall as well to a large bagel in an overtime. Boise State has made quick work of Midland. They're not going to win a single fight. There's a two-man sound barrier from Execute. Large bagel answers back with 5 of his own. Boise State, as soon as they're able to finish up the remaining members, will win map number 1, 100-0.
Very cleanly done by Boise State. A large bagel definitely winning the Lucio diff there just a little bit.
Yep.
And Guac did whiff the shatter, but it didn't really matter in the end, to be very honest, because Goblin came in, picked their off tank and their Ana, and with his ultimate. And so this is exactly what we wanted from Goblin. This is exactly what we wanted from Boise State.
It's like we are going to see Midland, bit of a comp change here. They'll bring out their own Reaper, as well as the Symmetra. Boise State not going to change a single thing. We'll see if Watt's able to get any teleporter value out of this. Otherwise, everything's almost mirrored across the board, and he'll end up switching to the Duke.
I mean, why would they change a single thing? They did so well last time, 100-0.
Yeah, it worked perfectly. Midland did not win a single fight. Boise State's going to take the fight right to them. Plato trying to get up over the wall, looking for a freeze. Goblin incredibly low, going to be forced to shadow step away.
Here it is.
The first one eliminated due to the flame strike. Both Immortality Fields burn through quite quickly. Kell's got to be careful. He's the lowest member. Now, what is the lowest one?
When you get a pick on their main tank first, you win the fight. That's just typically how these things work. So we got the elimination on Denoro, and the only thing stopping us now is the point not being unlocked just yet.
Yeah, they have what almost dead to rights there on that Doomfist. One more hit, he is going to be taken out. Double flame strike kill for Guac so far. This fight, Execution trying to ride wall. Not going to be able to get it done. Boise State is going to be able to pick up 3, and now they're able to hop out of the point.
And now 15% before we go into the next fight. Things are not looking very good for Midland with no ultimates online, the closest being their amplification matrix, whereas Asu already has his.
It also has a Blizzard 20% away. Hopefully Guac's able to get a slightly better shatter than he did last time. There's that amp matrix that it is going to go down. Immortality Fuel will be used as well from Asu. You see Sky use his. Meteor Strike comes out. There's a shatter and a Blizzard. Boise State gets the first elimination, make it 2 more. That Meteor Strike means nothing. Nora will go down. Executing and Sky will fall as well. It's a team kill for Boise State. And the Broncos still have more ults available to Midland.
Which, it's always a sad day for the enemy team when you use ultimates to win a fight and then still have more ultimates than the enemy team. So that really is just kind of a testament to how hard Midland is getting rolled right now, just a bit. I will say I'm excited to see how Goblin ults this next fight. I'm not excited to see that, but I'm also not surprised.
Yeah, that's a caster curse right squarely on your shoulders there, D'Angelo.
Yep.
He just immediately starts, licking the pavement there. Does able to respawn. Boise State's got an amp matrix down. Great Maywall there for Plato to cut it off. Teams have the sound barrier available if they want to use it. There's also a shadow for Noro that Boise State's got to be careful about, as well as a grab. But Chad is going to be taken out before he can grab. Immortality Field comes down a second too late. Goblin's able to pick up Sky. There's a Diva Bomb from Kell that's going to be used. He will be taken out, though. Boise State Shatter comes down. They're able to block it. Executing's going to use the sound barrier on the 4 remaining members of Midland, and they have actually flipped the point back. Boise State getting a bit distracted. A large bagel will throw down his own sound barrier to keep everyone alive. If it wasn't for Boise State getting out the point, this map would already be over.
So we've already done Plato's Bizarre Adventure. Now it's Guac's Bizarre Adventure. He just face tanked an entire Death Blossom with the help of a large bagel sound barrier. But for the beginning part of it, he was just looking at a Reaper. Death Blossom.
Almost close to this redemption arc of his own with a Death Blossom. That's a huge 5-man shatter, and that's probably the easiest Death Blossom you're ever gonna get. And Boise State's gonna win the first map without even losing a team fight. The score's deceiving because Midland kind of back-capped. Boise State did lose a team fight in either control map. Don't forget the 3v3 Overwatch Showdown presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, broadcast live for the BSU Esports Arena, the perfect opportunity to win prizes, shatter your friends, and ask the Army National Guard about how they can help you get an education in gaming and interactive media, with the finals held live on Saturday, April 16th. And for Boise State, that was about as big a statement win as you can make on the first map between Boise State and Midland.
And I like to think that the final guac shatter was very nice. Totally made up for the one that he whiffed that we will now speak of no more. I do think Boise State Blue is definitely much more than Midland University was ready for. And I think while Midland got some point percentage, I think it was because Boise State just decided that the point was not the most important thing at that moment. I think they could have absolutely 100-0'd. If they wanted to, I think they just kind of had other priorities, like racking up eliminations. So Midland got 28% of the point.
Yeah, I mean, Midland has not won a fight yet. I mean, they absolutely got rolled. They got that fluky elimination onto Goblin where you were praising him for getting a Death Blossom.
It was funny.
He immediately died. So, but other than that, I mean, we saw the Guac 5-man shatter. We saw Guac face tanking everything. Absolutely impressive performance here for Boise State. They're showing why they're undefeated and really not showing many signs of why anything's going to change on Hollywood unless you have other ideas, D'Angelo.
Torbhammer worthy. Their play is Torbhammer worthy. That's what I say. Their play against Midland, they've been winning so dominantly. It's like it's not even been close. Definitely Torbhammer worthy.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked to Doc and some of the players a little bit. I mean, unfortunately, you don't want to mention it, but just to remind people, Midland did beat Boise State 4-1, by the way, in the NECC championships in the fall. This one means a lot. I mean, I know Boise State at times has had a little bit of fun, especially when you win the series. You go to third map. Because we play map score, it can be kind of daunting to say, all right, let's keep the focus on. I heard them before the match. They want the clean 3-0. They want the easy, look, no doubt we were the better team than you this time, Midland, and they played like it on map number 1.
Yes, now hopefully we keep that going. Boise State Blue has been known to get a touch cocky sometimes, and that has hurt them in the past. I do not believe that will be a problem tonight, Fish.
No, we will have to see. It's Boise State and Midland. It's the NECC final game of the regular season. Both teams in the playoffs. Boise State trying to finish with a 9-0 record. Midland just trying to finish with a winning record. And right now, Boise State is one map away from securing that 9-0 start where they've only dropped one map all season, which is absolutely incredible. And right now, Midland doesn't really look poised to change that at all.
And I mean, did we expect anything different from the team that's 9-0 and the team that's 4-4? Other than the Boise State Orange upset that we did a couple of weeks ago, in general, team win-loss ratios are pretty telling.
Yeah. Sports is usually pretty chalk, but there are those occasional upsets. Keep referencing a certain upset that happened in a championship if you want me to, but I think leave that one alone. You see Midland has changed things up a little bit, and they're able to get the first elimination on to Goblin. So he will be taken out as Boise State finally gets slowed down, but there's no other follow-up elimination. Now Plato's got to be careful. Goblin will realize, okay, you know what? Let's stop stunting on the Reaper for a little bit. He'll go over to the Hanzo, and Boise State's just buying time, waiting for him to come back. And I'm surprised Midland never pushed him.
Goblin is the only kill that Midland has gotten, inting his brains out.
Yep.
So, I will say that. I don't know if that's against Goblin or for Midland or maybe a little bit of both, but
Boise State's immediately going to pick up 2 more eliminations. How about we make it 4? Cal barely surviving. Going to keep that stat alive in the debut form. Goblin gets a headshot. Yeah, Boise State, just like that, they let Goblin respawn. They go 6 for 0.
it's a pretty good day for Boise State when the only one getting eliminated is Goblin in their backline. And Boise State following up with full team wipes. It's a pretty good day. Feels very Torbhammer worthy.
As soon as they get the point, Goblin's like, all right, bring back out the Reaper. He said it.
Bring back out the Reaper. I'm ready for another shot at this, guys. I snuck on him with the Hanzo. It's back with my shotgun pistols.
As you mentioned, that in your pre-match interview, you want to play a lot of it, as we are going to get a gravitic flux there from Chatter. A large bagel will be taken out. Plato dropping incredibly low. It's going to be forced to cryo freeze Into the ice block for him to heal back up. Nice race for him there from Goblin. Immediately it's concussive stun to the face. Noro's going to be caught on the wrong side of a May wall, and Boise State will at least save face, but they've got to reset.
We did end up losing the high ground there, and now Midland has gotten more eliminations than just on Goblin. So, good for them. Boise State is still looking pretty good.
Ooh, gosh. Clearly had a great shatter. It's a kid take it out there. Execution will fall as well. The block actually did commit the shatter. Died in the animation. Boise State's going to lose out on that ultimate. Blizzard will come down from Plato. He will get frozen up. Goblin's going to be able to get one elimination, making another one onto what? Shiloh and Shatter sitting at about 50%. Goblin now on a 3-killing streak before he gets taken out there by Chatter. But AC will avenge him, and the cart will keep pushing.
Goblin was telling me that his KD ratio, so kills to deaths, tends to be 30 to 10 per 10 minutes, which means he dies once a minute, but also gets 3 kills every minute. So I mean,
right on cue there.
This is why earlier I mentioned that, no, I am sure that kill-death ratio is the single most important thing on Goblin's mind when he plays Overwatch.
Plato's going to pick up the double kill. It was a bit of miscommunication. They Diva Bomb and Maywall off Midland. Diva Bomb went nowhere. Plato forced the cryo freeze there to heal back up to full. Double stun's going to land on the Guac and a large bagel. The Ant Matrix has been committed as well as the Deadeye. Looks like Shiloh just used it to reload there. They'll trade 1 for 1 and they'll Maywall defensively. Noro's unfortunately going to land a flame strike onto Asu. Boise State's going to have to retreat.
The Maywall Diva Bomb combo, or I guess sabotage is more like it.
It was a bit of an unfortunate sabotage. Goblin has the flank, just unfortunately doesn't have the death blossom. There's your unexpected fight. Boise had the ability to advance. Double Blitz is going to go down. Sound Barrier goes down from a large bagel as well as an Ant Matrix comes down from Asu. Boise State gets the first elimination. Shiloh gets one back on the Goblin though, but Noro will fall. No tanks alive for Midland now. That's going to allow Guac to just free swing his hammer wherever he wants. Flut will go down as well. Nice crowd freeze there for Plato. Heal back up to full. Boise State's going to wipe the floor with Midland and keep on pushing.
Guac free swinging his hammer is a scary force to be reckoned with. And if you'll notice, he's got his shatter, while Noro did just use his. It's only sitting at 12%, so Noro will have to try to block a Guac shatter. And Shiloh will have to get massive Deadeye value, probably with his hammer.
Nice. Trying to put Shatter in kill range. Maywall's going to cut off the side of Boise State. Though Guac's going to land a double shatter. Ant Matrix goes down to try and slow them down. Goblin 2 seconds from the race for him. He's going to be able to get it back up before he gets a pair of eliminations. Execute throws down the Sound Barrier, but the Deep Bomb's going to clean things up. Hell, he'll pick up 2. Death Blossom on the scraps for Goblin. He's not going to find a kill, and Boise State will cap this payload with 2 minutes and 52 seconds on the clock.
Death Blossom was a little unnecessary at that point, but they didn't get another touch, so I'm sure he kind of did that just to show off. I mean, as you do, if the card's already there, it's just impress you. Even if there's nobody to get value because of a massive Diva Bomb.
Diva Bombs tonight have been nuts, by the way.
Yes, they absolutely have been nuts, which is great because Diva's normally an ultimate that is kind of hard to get value out of, but no, Boise State Divas are just insane with their bomb placement.
Yeah, I mean, we usually used to zone people off. This time it's been used to mainly eliminate people, but we'll see what Midland has in store. It's got to cap the Broncos to force us to overtime, and I still think we're waiting for Midland's first official team fight win. They've got picks here and there, but they've never actually won a team fight, which just speaks to how dominant Boise State Blue is right now.
Diva Bombs have been zoning them all the way back into spawn, and so that's definitely been one of the things that has kept them back a little bit and enabled Boise State to be as aggressive as they are. I will also say that Guac, as the Reinhardt, is the determiner of Boise State aggression, and he's been doing that spotlessly. He's been going in exactly when he needs to, and sustaining when he needs to, and staying alive. And I mean, that's pretty easy when Midland isn't putting a ton of damage and pressure onto Guac, but also he really is hitting that W key hard, and the rest of his team is there to back him up.
I mean, I'm sure Plato told him, as we saw in our first match. He's like, Ryan's easy, man. Hold W.
Ryan's easy. You just hold W. Reinhardt's Bizarre Adventure. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Plato's in his ears telling him that. As Midland's going to kick it off Rotating to the left, they want that high ground, and Boise State will just easily give it to him. And now we hit Goblin. Here we go.
Here's the flank.
Cheeky Goblin flank. Can he find any value? We got a pair of AWOLs sandwiching the payload here, as Noro's going to be the first elimination. And there's the flank from Goblin. He's got to be careful. NECC will be taking it out. There's the elimination of the sky. What is incredibly low. Him and Shiloh go down at the same time. Chatter, the last one left. And Boise State keeps on the strong pressure. They'll go 6-0.
Poor Noro. He's getting the full main tank experience. Picked first every fight with a Reaper on his behind non-stop. Gotta feel bad for the man, especially walking into a May.
Yeah, Reinhardt's already don't have fun walking into May. Noro has not had any fun. Plato trying for the wall and maul there. Can't quite pull it off. Raythorn good by Goblin. He's got to be careful. Large Beg gets the first elimination. On to Chatter. There's an Ant Matrix up for Asu. No ult really even close. There's a Shiloh Deadeye. That could be an issue maybe later on in the fight. He's not going to get it off though, as he will go back to spawn, and Boise State will just shoot him in the back as they run away. And Executing might be staggered here, and he will, with a great snipe from Plato, and Goblin's trying to peek into the spawn. Uh-oh.
What Deadeye?
Oh, they found
They know where Goblin is. They watched him hide in the bamboo. I am not sure what he expected. I definitely did not expect that to work out for him, but that Doc's keys plays of the game. Take fights in unexpected places.
Or
like
expected places.
their spawn door fish.
Yeah, Midland is, I don't think we've ever seen a close hold on Hollywood.
There's a first time for everything.
There's a grab. There's a great sound barrier from a large bagel. Oh, Shiloh just turns and puts one in the dome of Goblin. Great Deadeye there in Boise State. We talked about this. Can at times get a tad too aggressive, and I think that was one of those times.
Sometimes it's not about winning a fight, Fish. It's about sending a message. Ulting outside their spawn door is, I think, the message that Boise State Blue wanted to send there.
That is the ultimate message. It should not cost them. They're rushing in for a recontest. They're going to get it thanks to the rate swarm there from Goblin. Chatter's going to go down from Noro. Not going to find anything. Immortality Field Race, who will be eaten up, and Goblin will be taken out there. Boise State trying to turn this fight. Chatter's incredibly low. But Kelvin will get forced out of the neck. Double Deadeye from Shiloh is going to be able to wrap that one up, but the payload will be unlocked. And Midland still churning along, and that's a bit of that Boise State over-aggression that we can see from time to time.
Now you have to wonder if the message at the spawn door was worth losing first point, Fish. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. No.
I think that depends on who you ask.
3-0ing a team is a much bigger message than camping their spawn.
I am confident that Boise State is still operating on the mindset of they're gonna 3-0.
Well, 3-0ing on the map. Not 3-0ing overall. Shiloh gets great elimination off screen on the Plato. Goblin and Executing dueling it out there, and the Reaper will win that 9 times out of 10. Kell's able to get elimination on the Sky as an Immortality Field faded out there from Asu. And Midland's just going to fight on the payload. Walk will jump down, has it shattered, doesn't even need to use it. Great Daywall there from what? Going to separate the Boise State team. They'll lose the Diva Mech, but nothing else.
Noro managed to get the Diva Mech as a consolidation prize there, kind of consolation prize, kind of not really super significant. Probably decreases their chance of eating Chatter's grab, but also they can just play out of the range of the grab until Kel's back in mech like that. So.
Oh, the grab is going to miss, and at least going to be at the top of the elevator. And nobody was accounting for the Death Blossom from Goblin. He's able to get 2 and the Immortality Field. And that is those fights in unexpected places. And Boise State's going to wrap them up there. So who cares about the grab when you just have a Reaper that gets a double kill?
Their grab, that was an absolutely massive grab. That grabbed everybody on the team on the side of Boise State. The issue was they didn't have any really long-range damage to get into the grab. They didn't have any sort of follow-up or anything because the Zarya wasn't high charged herself. The McCree wasn't able, I mean, obviously McCree's not able to burn down an entire team of 6 people, and Sky didn't have amplification makers. It's not necessarily Sky's fault, it just makes the grab kind of.
We're going to see every ult throwing at it here. Kel gets killed with Diva Bomb. I think we saw a 4 or 5-man shatter from Guac. We also saw both Blizzards, both sound barriers, and Boise State's going to come out on top, and Midland is, I don't know about final fight, but they're definitely getting close. This stagger on the chatter could actually mean it's final fight for the side of Midland.
Stagger on your off tank is huge. They have one more fight here, unless they choose to push now, and then they have more like a staggered recontest. But it looks like they are waiting until they have chatter back. If we can kill this, that makes their staggered recontest even worse. That makes their final fight even harder.
Goblin trying for the flank. You can see him there at the top of your screen. Great Maywall's going to go up. Force the cryo freeze out of what? Guac and Noro going to run into each other and stun each other. Mortality field goes down, gets burned through. He's going to trade out 2 for 2, make it 3 for 3 now. Goblin trying to stay alive, 2 seconds from the Wraith form, not able to find it. And that is going to be, it's still a 4 for 4 overall trade, which doesn't favor either team. And Midland, running out of time, is going to have to win one more fight in overtime here to extend this map.
And Cal does get the touch. Both teams only have a Lucio and a D.Va right now. Well, now Midland has more. But they do have a touch, and Boise State does have a full fight. Unfortunately, without a large bagel.
Yeah, that is not the pick Boise State wanted. Maywall's going to go up. North's going to get caught on the wrong side. Kell's going to commit the Diva Bomb there. Tried for a reset, wasn't able to get it. Deadeye does come out, and Asu will fall. Throws an Ant Matrix from Sky. Boise State should still actually have a way to get another recontest on this point this time in overtime.
We absolutely still do, and considering we have both DPS ults, and I actually don't think we're planning on recontesting it because Kel swapped to Zarya, who is a slower hero than D.Va, so I actually don't know if they're trying to contest this or not.
Well, he died early, so he actually was right next to the point. So Boise State does want to recontest.
No, there, Goblin wants to.
Be used. Death Blossom comes out of the perfect immortality field as well as the sound barrier committed there by the side of Midland. They'll also use the Blizzard. Chatter's going to eat Plato's Blizzard, unfortunately, and Midland's going to give themselves a chance here, as they're going to give them 1.5 minutes on the clock for final point.
So the message that Boise State sent at the spawn doors really wasn't worth it, and I now see why they swapped Daria to Bubble Goblin on his Hail Mary jump from the top of Hollywood.
Yep.
But that, unfortunately, did not pan out because they had both Sound Barrier and Immortality Field. But with Noro now down, it's looking like that push in particular is over for Midland University.
I'm already ticking down on Midland here. Shatter's going to land onto 3 for Guac. Goblin will be taking out the Silver Sky, and unfortunately that Shatter's not going to have enough follow-up from Boise State. Maywall will cut him off. Noro going to go down once again, even tried to get the Shatter off, wasn't able to. And once again, Midland's going to be in final fight territory. Shatter's barely going to live as the Maywall cuts off the team.
Poor Noro spawned and got into the fight just to be walled and eliminated again. Plato was getting a little bit over-aggressive there, so I can't say I feel too bad for him that he got eliminated.
Probably going to have to win 2, if not 3 fights here. Field forces to overtime. Large Bagel's going to aggro Sound Barrier. The Broncos want to end it now. Executing at 75% of his Sound Barrier, but Goblin's going to be eliminated once again. Can't keep the fight up. One's going to get the Blizzard. They also have the Deadeye available, but Broncos are bleeding members, and Midland might somehow miraculously send us to overtime. Boise State's going to have one more shot at it.
Midland needs to land a very good Blizzard to win this, or Plato does. So you're going to be wanting to watch both of the Mays this fight, or a cheeky Goblin flank. You want to watch the Mays and the Reinhardt. Who outplays who, and Goblin is just kind of an extraneous figure.
There's the Blizzard for Plato's going to come out. Deadeye for Shiloh will be canceled. The Sound Barrier executing will be used. What's also going to throw down his Blizzard. Shatter comes out from Noro, and Boise State's going to go up 1 with Shiloh and What both take him out. No DPS now alive for Midland. Last in, Diva Bomb going to come in from Chatter, and it does take down 2. But 2-man Chatter from Guac going to take down Noro and executing. There's the Death Blossom from Goblin at the final minute. Chatter's the last one alive. They're going to take care of him in short order, and overtime will end. Closer than it needed to be, but Boise State will win the map. Make sure they go undefeated, and now we'll see if the Broncos can go 3-0 against Midland.
I honestly think that even though Goblin has been getting the flashier plays, I think the Guac has been consistently better. not only with ultimate value, but also just with general value. I think Glock is main tank differencing poor Noro very hardly, and I think a Mei difference plays into the Rhine v Rhine quite a bit also, just because by nature of how you play Mei against a Rhine. Poor Noro is not having a fun time on the other side of that wall.
Yeah.
He's getting that full main tank experience against Mei Reaper, and you just gotta feel bad. But I will say that while Goblin is getting the play, he's also dying once every other fight.
Yeah.
Guac is being consistent in getting eliminations and getting shatters. And so I do think that while Goblin is impressive and funny to watch and just generally entertaining, sowing chaos across across the maps of Overwatch, I do actually think that Goblin has been more consistent, or Glock has been more consistent in winning them fights and maps, and so I think he is more deserving of player of the game as of right now.
Well, we still have one more left. You see Boise State, the sweep the leg is in full order. They want to make sure that they 3-0 Midland. They already have locked up the 9-0 first place finish. The perfect season is locked in. They still have only dropped one map, and I mean, Midland did all they could on Hollywood as we go to Rialto, and even Midland's best effort was well short of knocking down Boise State. So, I mean, this is going to take quite the effort for Midland here to beat Boise State in our final map.
Okay, so let's be honest here.
Yes.
It's not about the amount of effort that Midland puts forth.
Yeah.
Because Midland is just so far outskilled right now.
Yeah.
It's a matter of whether or not Boise State Blue thinks sending a message is more important than winning. Because that message that they sent outside of the spawn door,
Yep.
that cost them almost the entirety of Hollywood.
Yep.
That and a couple of other similarly cocky message-based plays.
Yep.
So, Fish, it's really not, and this kind of sucks, but when you're in really high leagues like this, sometimes it doesn't matter how hard you try if the skill gap is that big. And I do think the skill gap is that big right now. So I think if Boise State Blue loses, they're gonna have essentially lost to themselves. Lost to Midland in name, but themselves in practice.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this. I mean, this has been the biggest Achilles heels for Boise State. They've, at times, had a little too much fun. Maybe sent a message, I guess is probably the best way to put it. As you said, D'Angelo, maybe a little too hard. So we'll see what they do. Is the easiest way to 3-0 and send a message is Midland tried for, I think, a close hold, and it just absolutely blew up in their face. Noro was the first one to go down. Goblin's going to take down Chatter. There's no tanks left now to the side of Midland. Now there's no support to Shine Executing go down, and how's that for a message?
Noro is usually the first person to go down, and you gotta feel kind of bad because Boise State Blue is ramming into this poor man with Mei and Reaper.
Yep.
And it's just, and speed boost. Speed boosting a Mei and a Reaper into Noro's face. They do get another recontest here, but I think Boise State's got this.
Goblin, great elimination on this guy. He almost has the Death Blossom flank. He's got to deal with Chatter first. Forces him out of the mech. Wraith forms over to the health pack. It now can drop that Death Blossom with ease. The large bagel will be taken out though. And Boise State is content just kind of slow pushing this one. Skeleton a high behind the payload. There's the Death Blossom. Goblin's able to get 2 there. Force out the cryo freeze for what? It's going to be 3 for Boise State. Shiloh's trying to hide up in the corner. The Broncos did lose 2 though, and the Diva Bomb almost ready for Chatter and for Kel. And Boise State should be able to maybe cap this. There's a Deadeye from Shiloh from the high ground, and Ant Matrix in an immortality field for Boise State. They'll trade 1 for 1. And maybe Midland's doing just enough. Kel does have the Diva Bomb. He's going to try and use it. No, he will not. He'll just sit Baby Diva for him.
Noro finally got a Shatter. Woo. And it looks like he's being rewarded for that by holding the point, at least for now. Plato does have the Blizzard, and Kel did get hard staggered. So Boise State Blue has been stopped for a good 45 seconds, I want to say.
Yeah.
But as long as our Blizzard doesn't get eaten, and it's got a pretty good shot at not getting eaten if the Diva's half health.
Goblin doesn't
should
get
be able
taken
to.
out. That's not a way you want to start. Shatter's going to try and go for the Diva Bomb. Blizzard gets put down by Plato. Diva Bomb's not going to find anything. Executing's going to throw down the sound barrier, but Noro's still the first elimination target for Boise State. Huge three-man Shatter's going to land. Kell's going to Diva Bomb
There
over
it is.
the wall. How's that for hashtag better? How about just a 4K on the Diva Bomb?
Diva Bombs have been absolutely massive tonight, particularly when comboed with the Shatter of the Reinhardt.
Yep.
And especially because of what's really nice Maywall, they would not have gotten that team kill without that Diva Bomb, that absolutely massive Diva Bomb. And the Diva Bomb, in turn, wouldn't have been as massive without the Shatter. It's a great team play.
Yeah, I think Midland might have been a little bit overconfident that Maywall was going to keep him alive. State now just chugging along. They've only got an Ant Matrix available for Asu. Goblin will be taken out. So will a large bagel. It's just like that. Midland has an answer. And they will get a 4K on Boise State and send them back to spawn.
I expect Goblin to either go down or kill at least 3 people every fight.
Yeah, he established that.
Yeah, he did establish that, and so I expect. So when I see Goblin pop up as getting eliminated, I'm like, okay, the fight isn't necessarily lost. This is exactly what I've been expecting.
Midland giving Boise State a bit of the treatment. Popping ults in the spawn. They're going to wipe through Boise State.
But you know what happens after popping ults in somebody's spawn, right? Boise State Blue just showed us.
That allowed Midland to absolutely rally. We'll see what the plan is now. Shatter from Noro is going to miss. And Matrix will be used there from Asu. Goblin's in on the back line. Raids Form has the Death Blossom. And he'll pick up a double kill for himself before Chatter gets one with the Diva Bomb. Block going for the pin. Not going to be able to find it, but Midland gets a little bit of that spawn camp treatment that time.
It's almost like Boise State Blue did this and lost a couple of points for it on Hollywood.
Yep.
But Midland's like, I want to try anyway.
Midland's like, anything you could do, we could do exactly the same. There's the Blizzard from Plato. Midland's going to jump right into it. Noro's going to be frozen. Mortality field and a sound barrier committed to keep him alive. Goblin will get taken out. He's got his 2 kills, so he's got to get a death in. As the Shatter comes out, Diva Bomb from Kel, not as successful as the last one. Sound barrier from the large bagel just in time to keep multiple members alive that allows them to flip it onto Noro. And now they're going to get another, looks like what, on the wrong side of the Maywall. Chatter looking for a flank. He's incredibly low, going to be forced out of the mech. Block's going to pick up a repair. And Boise State, thanks to a killer large bagel sound barrier, going to keep pushing.
And that's how sound barrier should be used, to save your entire team. So a large bagel is kind of reclaiming some Lucio honor that has been lost a little bit in some of our streams with his really good sound barriers.
Yeah, that sound barrier is probably the difference between a full cap and a 2 cap for Boise State. If they lost that fight, that would have been 45 seconds plus down the drain. Midland still has a Deadeye and a Blizzard available though.
Definitely more because Midland has the Blizzard, so that sound barrier saved more than just that fight. It truly saved the fight.
Not quite able to get out. Goblin eats a couple of shots to the face. Blizzard's going to come down from Plato. There's a Deadeye from Shiloh. Line of sight that one. Maywall's going to cut off Shatter. Noro looking to try and get a kill there. Guac's going to unfortunately run into the cryo freeze. He will get taken down as well, and now Midland's going to start pushing down Boise State.
Now Goblin's playstyle of inting his brains out, right? That's going to hurt them a little bit if he gets eliminated every fight because their respawn is so long. They'll be 5v6 for a significant amount of time, and that will lose them the fight. So he really needs to not do that on 3rd point re-ultimate.
Diva Bomb and an Ant Matrix. Chatter's going to be able to take down just one. 3-man Shatter lands from Noro. Goblin's trying to do cleanup there with the Death Blossom. Takes down only one. Boise State sitting down just one in the fight. Kel's going to be forced to Diva Bomb just to reset. Does zone out Midland just a smidge, but unfortunately Goblin and Kel both get taken out. Plato's able to get executed with the sound barrier available, Boise State's going to have to reset, and now they're still starting to run out of time.
I'm honestly not sure that we needed the Death Blossom or the bomb that fight.
That was one of those, I think, panic reset bombs. When your
I think
been
Bob was
taken
just
out.
having the time of his life.
Yeah.
And I do think Kel was just trying to reset. But we do still have Blizzard. So there, you do still have a very clear win condition to play.
Push it through right now. You said they have the Blizzard, they have the Shatter. Sound barrier up for Execute, though, if he wants to use it. He's going to slam it down from the spawn. There's the Blizzard and the Shatter. The Shatter will land onto nobody. The Blizzard will land onto 4, though. With that sound barrier gone, Boise State's going to be able to take down 2 quite quickly. They'll use their own sound barrier once again to save multiple members. And that's just about going to do it. If the team kills for Boise State, and with 10 seconds on the clock, they'll put 3 on the board.
Bagel just has an awareness of other ultimates that I feel like other Lucios do not have. Execute is the most recent example of this.
Yep.
Sound barriering to get out of spawn, walking into an enemy blizzard. And honestly, again, walking into an enemy blizzard is hard anyway, and a lot of times you can just speed out of it, but when the blizzard is on the point and you are on defense, there's no way to speed out of it, and so you have to sound barrier. And since he sound barriered so early, he was either unaware of the blizzard or just not thinking about it. And much more Lucios are not able to land successful sound barriers than I genuinely feel like the majority of Lucios, at least the ones we've seen on cast, misuse such an amazing, important ult. And we've talked about it all the time, Fish, and not to bag on Execute too hard, because again, they're just the most recent example of the majority of Lucios that we have seen play. And this is not just enemy Lucios, like I'm not just railing enemy Lucios. We saw our friendly Lucio do it multiple times, literally last map with the orange. We saw Nerdy Bird misuse B several times. So this is really just something that is so common.
Yeah, I mean, it really just shows how talented a large bagel is. He has been able to just nail those sound barriers time and time again. Boise State's going to opt for their own close hold here. Goes a little bit better than Midlands does, you can say, as they're able to pick up a 2-for-1, but they did lose Walk, so their main tank is out of the way, and Noro's got to be careful as the race form committed there by Goblin, trying to get him to safety. Shatter has been taken out of the mech. Kel is able to remech. And speaking of Lucio on Lucio Prime, a large bagel, another swoop off the edge, then a punch onto the Baby Diva. And Boise State, they're just trying to wrap this one up with a close hold. Hopefully they don't hold on the spawn door like they did on Hollywood.
And that is the ultimate dishonor, to be booped off the edge as Lucio.
Yep.
That is the ultimate dishonor, so Bagel just continuing to rep there. I mean, he did get eliminated by the McCree, but their close hold was broken, so I feel like at this point, this has kind of become a measuring contest between the two teams of who can do something better, which is because there's no other reason for Boise State Blue to have done that. There is no thoughtful reason why you should hold outside the spawn door on Rialto other than Midland did it, and we can do it better.
Oro got a 4-man shatter, but they didn't have enough follow-up. There's a Death Blossom and a Blizzard. Goblin's going to get one. There's a 1-man shatter on to Execute. Shatter, oh, headshot by Goblin right as he's looking to remake. And Goblin's going to pick up his 3 eliminations.
There it is.
Probably should just jump in the water now to keep the 10 eliminations per 10 deaths per 10 stat going.
Keep the KD consistent there, Fish.
Exactly.
I'm sure he'll do the equivalent of that.
Hiding around the corner.
Oh, he wants it. He wants to be sneaky. He wants the sneaky play.
Chatter might walk right into it. The sound barrier on both sides. Great Maywall there. Going to put Chatter and Noro on the wrong side, but it will get broken, and Ace will be taken down before he can get the animatrix out. There's the sound barrier going to go down from a large bagel. Sky gets taken out. Sound barrier for Executing, but it's a tad too late to save Shiloh. Now Watch will fall, and Noro's going to get another one on to Plato. So both teams down a pair of members. So Respawn slightly favor the side of Midland. Goblin close to that Death Blossom. Probably not going to be able to get it here. going to end up building off of Chatter. No, he's actually
I was about to say, they're letting him do it.
They didn't expect it. They did not. Honestly, they undermet it. Chatter was just like, oh yeah, ha ha ha, let you feed all, and then just.
I think they knew that he was going to charge it. They just didn't think he would use it.
Yeah, I don't think they thought he was going to use it. They did not respect the Goblin was just a smash Q kind of man.
It gave their entire team a chance to get there. So good job, Goblin. Way to be, man.
Way to catch him off guard. Midland's running out of time. Boise State's looking for a 3-0. We know what happened on Hollywood where the Broncos got a little bit too aggro and ended up having to defend for a lot longer than they would have liked. Deadeye does come out from Shiloh, not able to find anything. Chatter goes down 2% before the grab. That could be huge with 45 seconds on the clock as an Amp Matrix goes down from Asu. Battle step back up from Goblin. Immortality Field taken out. He's trying to be able to jump onto that Baptiste. He's able to find it. There's a Blizzard down for Plato. He's going to shoot the ice block of what a couple times. Woo! Takes the fan, the hammer, and lives. And Boise State now has put Midland in a very staggered and awkward position in the final 20 seconds.
Goblin lived but did not deserve to after getting flashbang, fan, the hammer. That was a little bit of probably a misclick on Shiloh's part, not being able to eliminate him there. Because Kel did come in with the defense matrix. But Goblin still could have died.
Flank. There it is. He immediately gets stunned and goes down. Great main wall there to cut off the team. A sound barrier is used by a large bagel into the Blizzard and the grab. But unfortunately, once again in overtime, Midland has found a way to come alive. Asu's trying to take down his counterpart in Sky, but he's not able to. And Midland's going to be able to extend the time here and keep their hopes alive for overtime.
Something really significant that happened that did not make a difference was the fact that a large bagel was able to get 50% of beat charge while that Chatter had grab, because Chatter kept getting eliminated. But when Chatter was first eliminated with grab, Bagel was 49% to sound barrier. But he had the barrier.
State actually got a staggered recontest off, and I don't know if Midland was actually ready for it. As, yeah, Midland's just going to go down. Midland wasn't ready for Boise State. I didn't think they had the speed to get back on the point in time, but they did, and Boise State's going to 3-0 Midland. Or 5-0. I like the 5-0 more. And that is going to be a dominating exclamation mark to the end of the NECC regular season for Boise State Blue.
5-0 dominating exclamation mark. They weren't ready. They weren't ready for the Goblin Reaper. Goblin wasn't ready sometimes for the Goblin. Or, okay, his team wasn't ready for the Goblin Reaper sometimes, right? Because he would go in very deep and get a lot of value, but then sometimes he would die, and it'd be like, oh yeah, he popped off 2 fights in a row, so now he's just got to feed.
Yeah, I was just saying, he either got insane value or died.
Yep.
That was all he got. So we will have our final standings here. Boise State Blue will finish at 9-0, an overall map record of 26-1. Fresno State, the conference foes, right behind them. And we see Midland there at 4-5. They will still make the playoffs, that we unfortunately saw earlier. Champlain College will advance past Boise State Orange on a map score tiebreaker to make the final playoff spot. So Boise State Blue gets the top seed. The Broncos looking primed and ready to go after they just kind of crushed Midland. And Midland wasn't even ready for that last fight, and that kind of sums up how that whole match went.
There is no better way to sum that up than Midland was not ready.
Yep.
And I'm not sure what they were expecting going against the team that had no losses. I mean, truly.
Hey, they beat him. Again, they beat him when it mattered the most. But we'll see what happens this semester. Goblin gets our final ICCU player of the game.
Of course he does.
The Reaper coming in strong. As long as we clip out the times where he just died solo, we'll be good to go.
And you know, clipping things out is the essence of a highlight reel.
Exactly. So,
I mean, you know, I don't know what you're talking about. According to his DPS highlight reel, Goblin is perfect, because that is absolutely what you should judge a DPS by. Their highlight reel only. If you have gold medals, everybody else is throwing but you, Fish.
I mean, this is exactly what Goblin did all night long. The grab comes out. He's, you know what? I'm behind the whole team. I'll pick up a 2-man Death Blossom. get a couple kills on the way out, and it was absolutely perfect play from him. That's why he is the player of the game, brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union. He's a great player, makes the team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Goblin, your player of the game for the 3-0 win over Midland. And as we close out the night, D'Angelo, any final thoughts on what we saw here from the PlayVS win to the blue team win? And an unfortunate performance by the orange team, but they did win the final map, so they have that going.
Final map.
They won the final map.
They have something going for them, and sometimes that's what matters
Well,
most.
let's focus on the blue team. Your final thoughts, ending the regular season 9-0 with the beatdown of Midland in our last game.
It looks like maybe Boise State Blue was just hashtag better tonight. I'm never going to let that go, Fish.
Hey, make sure. You can be hashtag better all you want in the regular season.
I'm never going to let it go.
All that matters is who wins that championship, D'Angelo. That's where hashtag better came from.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just saying.
Look how much good it's doing for him right now.
Who knows what will happen in the playoffs. I cannot wait to see, but that will close things out tonight. But we still have our top 5 plays presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invite you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. Reach out on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. And here are the top 5 plays from Boise State's 3-0 win over Midland. You don't want to mention it, but, you know, just to remind people, Midland did beat Boise State 4-1, by the way, in the NECC championships in the fall. This one means a lot. Nano, the chatter looks like, and there's a boop off the hedge for a large bagel. He's 2 for 2 on that. If Boise State can sustain more casualties this time, if they're going to come out victorious here in the end of the fight, you have to think. Be able to take him out. Goblin has the Death Blossom. Just waiting to use it. Will race form. Pop it immediately. Sky and Chatter both get taken out. Nora will fall as well to a large bagel in an overtime. Boise State has made quick work of Midland. Boise State's going to be able to take down 2 quite quickly. They'll use their own sound barrier once again to save multiple members. And that's just about going to do it. It's a team kill for Boise State. Close to this redemption arc of his own with a Death Blossom. That's a huge 5-man shatter, and that's probably the easiest Death Blossom you're ever gonna get. And Boise State's gonna win the first map. Without Noro's still the first elimination target for Boise State. Huge 3-man shatter's gonna land. Kell's gonna diva bomb over the wall. How's that for hashtag better? How about just a 4K on the diva bomb?